This is the way.
Nah, nothing makes sense here, man. The only thing that does make sense is that nothing makes sense.
A simple man making his way through the galaxy.
Let's start the show.
Welcome to episode 15 of the Conclave Mixtapes. I'm your host, Eddie Fregoso, and before I cut to the podcast, a brief explanation of why it's kind of random and jumbled. So this podcast has been recorded 3 times, 4 if you count this intro. So I recorded on the 16th, the 21st, and the 23rd. What happened on the 16th is the first half, for some reason, the computer just like shut down in the middle of us recording, so I lost the first half of that episode. In that episode, we just covered episode 6, and then the Justice League trailer had come out, so we covered that. So I was able to save that part, so that part's in the podcast later. And then on the 21st, because that happened, and I had the day off, I wanted to hang out with my buddy Will, so I invited Will on, and we talked about Mortal Kombat, some video game stuff that happened, and then on the 23rd, I just decided to film again, due to there was more Justice League Zack Snyder news that came out, so we talked about that briefly, and I had Paul and Tommy on again, and then we talked about episode 7. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. This episode is, like I said, segmented, so it's gonna jump back and forth, and I have little transitions in that for that. So yeah, with that said, let's go to the first part, which will be on the 23rd, and that'll be me, Paul, and Tommy. Okay, and so as I said in that intro video, this episode is going to be like segmented, so we're just going to jump now. This is February 23rd, we're recording, so this is actually now stuff. So hi to Paul and Tommy. How's it going, guys?
Doing good.
How's it going, Eddie? How's it going?
So really fast, brief update, because I got this after we recorded the first time. Received my vaccine first dose on Friday, so
good job.
I got the Moderna one. And if you're asking how did I get it, because I don't fit any of the criteria now to get it, my job, Costco, is giving it out. And the reason I got it was because someone was ineligible, and they didn't want the dose to go to waste, so they pulled one of the workers, and I just happened to be on the list, so I got it. I guess to avoid the stigma that's out there. My side effects were my arm hurt for the next 2 days, so like Saturday and Sunday it was pretty sore. Saturday I just got, like, I guess it was hot flashes. Like, I didn't get a fever, but I was just extremely hot. Not to mention I did go to work as well, and work did have me running around like a madman, so that might have also been part of it. Because Sunday, when I was off, I kind of just relaxed most of the day. And I was still like hot, but not as hot as the day before. But then other than that, now I feel fine. My arm's not sore anymore. So I get my second dose March 18th, and I took the precaution to take the 19th off. So for everyone knows the dates that I've thrown out there, that is coincidentally Snyder Cut and then Falcon Winter Soldier Day. So that kind of just way that it worked out, I was like, that's kind of cool. So we'll see how I feel if I don't have any, because I guess the second dose is supposed to be the worst version of it. So if I'm up to it and these guys are up to it, we can try to do a stream or something.
That's like next level planning, I will say that.
Yeah, no, so it just kind of worked out that way.
My girlfriend got it, and she said that, from her reactions, she was worse after the first dose, but she just had, like you said, same thing. Her arm was sore. She felt a little bit like days ago. She didn't get any hot flashes or anything like that. The second dose, she got a little bit tired, and that was it. She was fine though, so you should be fine. I think it's your body making the antibodies to fight off that virus. So that's what I think. That's what it's doing. That's why you might have got those hot flashes. So you should be okay.
Yeah. To disclaimer too, I'm not the healthiest person. So I know you and your girlfriend are pretty healthy, and you guys eat pretty clean. Dude, what the drink you're drinking right now? What is that?
It's some greens mixed into some water.
See, there you go. I need healthier than me. I mean, I drink that in the morning sometimes, but when I remember. But
Look at my
Chick-fil-A.
on cue.
Yeah. So.
But hey, I was craving on the way home right now. I was craving a donut. I wanted to, and then I was craving. They have this like the strawberry ice cream shortcake dish from Fridays. I don't know if you had it. It's like
that sounds pretty bomb though.
Vanilla ice cream with pound cake with fresh strawberries, whipped cream. It's delicious. It's bomb. It was like a warm day, and I was like, I feel like that right now. And I was like, oh, maybe a Rupert Flow. Like I was craving all kinds of things. I was had like a really bad
sweet tooth
on the way home. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to get something the next couple of days to crave that sweet tooth. I get them really bad once in a while. So
yeah,
not the healthiest. Could be healthier.
No, but still, no. I was gonna say that's why I think that maybe she didn't have that bad of a reaction, because I know some other coworkers that got it, and it took them out already, and that was just the first dose. So.
Oh right.
It just I know one of them though had it before. Like they had the coronavirus. They had like in the beginning. So they said that some of the stuff that they were getting again made them kind of feel like they had it again, but it's not giving you the virus. So people are like, oh, you put that shit in your body. It's not doing that.
No.
And I'm not here to I'm not here to tell people to, like vaccine yourself or whatever. I think you should if you want everything to kind of go back. But if you're an anti-vaxxer, props to you. I'm not gonna have to convince you otherwise. So just throwing that out there.
We're not a political channel.
Yeah, that is for sure.
Even though we talk politics once in a while, but we don't try to delve into that.
Just the climate of the world right now.
What are you drinking, Paul? What do you got in that cup?
This was a cherry Coke from lunch today from
good
old Chick-fil-A.
I've missed going to the movies and getting like cherry Coke, cherry Pepsi, whatever.
I was doing pretty good at not drinking soda. When we'd go, I'd always get those powered mixed drinks. It was like I'd do the fruit punch, raspberry, and the strawberry one. I
miss those $8 sodas.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the rate we were going, I was getting every 3 movies. I got like a free drink or something because of how often we would go. But yeah. Well, really fast, that just brought up something. Because I did want to talk to you guys about it because I looked it up on the weekend. So, I guess Black Widow might get pushed back again because of the theaters. So with that said, like, do you guys really fast just think that's like a smart move, like it's understandable, or you think it's just like they should just bite the bullet and
bite the bullet, huh?
Bite the bullet.
That's how I feel.
Drop it on Disney Plus, and then I think it's not gonna get back to where we were at till probably later this year at the earliest, late summer, early fall, where enough of the population is vaccinated where we can actually go and watch a movie in the theaters. So I just think by them pushing it back, it's delaying the, and then what it's creating a backlog. So you're gonna end up dropping movies that are gonna like kind of eat their own. So you're gonna drop Black Widow 1 month, and then with Disney's like their Pixar movies and their animated movies like dropping right next to each other, it's gonna weaken like their total box office. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So well, that happened in 2018. I'm having a brain fart. When did Infinity War come out? 2017, right? Yeah, 2017. Because it was 2018 and 2017. So, because that's when Deadpool came out. Like it was. I remember like when Infinity War came out, it was Deadpool, and then like the next week it was like Solo. So like they didn't own Fox at the time, but Deadpool did really well. But like I know Solo got eaten up because like Avengers had just been like the 2 weeks before, so. They would do that to themselves again if they keep pushing back.
Yeah, and it's just I think they're making enough money with the streaming, especially with WandaVision now. I think they could eat that Black Widow. I think in the theaters it would have made over $1 billion easy, but I
You think
guess
a
maybe I'm
billion?
being.
You think Black Widow would have produced $1 billion?
Those-
I don't think so.
I-
I know
how
it would
much
have
it-
done better than Ant-Man and Wasp for sure. I would
How much
say.
How much did Captain Marvel do?
Actually, that's a good call. I think.
I think we're so. I think what would prevent it from making $1 billion is the climate that we're in right now, with the virus and the pandemic and all that would hold it back. But in normal times, I think it would make $1 billion. All those movies they drop make $1 billion.
No, because like not all of them.
Captain Marvel at least did $1 billion. They said earning 358 domestic and 645 international.
Maybe. Well, because I know as far as like the fan base that Black Widow had, at least from like the internet side of it, I know more people wanted a movie of her before Captain Marvel, and then after Captain Marvel, that kind of intensified. Like people wanted a movie of her, so I guess maybe it could have been $1 billion, but
I think it's the whole thing strike while the iron's hot, and I think if they don't do it now, it's going to be kind of forgotten because of how good WandaVision is.
yeah, because no offense towards like the movie, like I'm pretty sure it'll be a home run movie, like it'll be a good Marvel movie, but at the same time, it's like okay, you're gonna keep pushing the shit back, and it's like okay, cool. So I waited this long, like you know what I mean? It could go like the other way, where it's like okay, that movie was like it was good, but it wasn't worth waiting 3 freaking release dates announced for it. So it would be like the New Mutant version. Like, even though I know that's like a huge extreme, and I didn't even end up watching New Mutants, but that New Mutants got pushed back so much that by the time it came out, people were just like, all right, let's see what all this hype was about, and it's like, okay, this movie fucking sucked. So
Also, I don't think Disney Plus has had a movie like that with that much hype to do the what's it called, where you have to pay like $30.
yeah, because like no offense to Mulan, I just feel that Mulan already had controversy going through, and then like the Raya the Last Dragon, like it looks good, but there's not enough marketing to where I'd want to pay like $30 for it.
Exactly. Like that, the Black Widow movie is a movie that I want to shell out $30.
Yeah,
for.
I'd shell out $30 for it, no problem. But I don't know. The only reason I brought that up is because if like we talked about it like a couple episodes ago, but like the whole reason Tenet, I guess, didn't do as well as it could have was for the sole reason that like it was released in a pandemic. But Nolan was so set on, this movie has to be in theaters, and it was just based off of like, and I think Feige had said he was being interviewed for something, and then I guess it was supposedly where the source of like the last 3 episodes of WandaVision were supposed to be an hour. We'll get to that later, but apparently that's where that came from, and then like that dropped about like, oh well, would Black Widow be put on Disney Plus, and he just kind of said that he would wait again to get Black Widow into theaters. Because he said that that the Marvel movies are supposed to be an experience, and that's why he wants to wait for a theater. And that just reminded me exactly of Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan was like, "Oh yeah, my movies are supposed to be an experience, and seeing them like IMAX and stuff like that. And that's why I want my movie in theaters. I don't want it on a streaming service first." So, yeah, I just thought I just remembered, but when we talking about movies, that I was like, "Oh yeah, I should ask you guys about that," because yeah, I guess we're all in agreement that they just need to bite the bullet and put this shit on Disney Plus.
Yes.
I mean, for some reason someone from Disney's listening, like you've got $90 right here, like straight up, like straight up. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I would pay $30 for it though. That's a lot of money for a movie.
You have at least 60. You have at least 60.
You know what I mean?
You get for $30, you still get to watch it more than once because you get it for.
I think it's like a week. I think it's a week.
See, that's the thing though. Like with me, if I'm paying $30 for it, I'm gonna want to like put it on my Vudu account and keep it. Like that, I'll pay $30 for a movie that I'm gonna have them digitally on my account. You know what I mean? But to pay $30 just to watch it one time, I know I've spent more than that going to the movies with you guys, and like when you go and you buy sodas and drinks.
Easily before A-list. Let's say every time we were going, we were doing Dolby Digital.
Fuck.
Alone. So let's say, how much was it before A-listing? It was like what, $23, $20
something, yeah, $20 ticket plus whatever.
And then let's say I always get a drink, and then if I have a sweet tooth, I'll get the freaking thing of M&M peanuts. And then if I'm actually hungry and like I hadn't eaten anything and I want to like eat with there, you guys, I'll either get the fried mozzarella sticks, which are like $10, or I'll get a pizza. Sometimes both. So you're looking at like, depending on how much my fat ass wants to eat at a movie, probably like $50 if there was no A-list.
Yeah.
So with A-list and that dropping the price, I'm probably still dropping on like eating a lot of food time, probably like $25. So.
Yeah, to me, I know.
I get what you're saying though, because I know that's what some people are saying about like I've seen that argument with Raya the Last Dragon where people are like, oh, I wanted to see this movie, but I don't want to dish out $30. Like I'll wait. And I get it at the same time because it's like we are still in a pandemic and not everybody has the opportunity to just spend $30 frivolously. Like some people are literally living, not even check to check. Like it's like waiting for their next, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No,
So
I know.
I
It's just.
get it.
And I know we're the HBO Max is dropping their movies day and date, so you don't have to pay an extra fee to watch Wonder Woman or whatever movies are dropping at a time. You know what I mean?
It's not like Disney doesn't have the money to do it, because I know that since Disney Plus has been a thing, like they're making money, and especially like the one few people I know at work that don't have Disney Plus because they're waiting for certain stuff. Like I have a buddy who doesn't have it yet, and he was like, I'm waiting till the Falcon and Winter Soldier show goes, and then then I'm gonna watch WandaVision, Mandalorian, all that stuff, and like afterwards, and he's just waiting for like more content. So
yeah,
and I think Black Widow would be one reason to be like, you know what, yeah, I'll try it. Like if they do the whole thing that HBO did, like I know, even though we're not the hugest fans of Wonder Woman 2, like it did get them a bunch of subscriptions. As far as keeping them, I don't know if they're ever going to release that number, but you did get a bunch of people sign up just to watch the movie. So. Well,
they got some good content coming out though. They had one Woman sucked, whatever, but they had that other movie with Denzel drop not too long ago, and then they have another one, some Messiah movie. I haven't seen it yet. And then Mortal Kombat's coming out soon.
Tom and Jerry on Friday.
Yeah, so they got, and then King Kong versus Godzilla next month. So they have some. I don't know if it's next month. Is it next month or is it
March 31st?
So yeah, so they got some good content. So like when that's your competitor, and they're dropping their movies on their streaming service and not charging an extra fee, like I don't know. And I understand it's Black Widow. I understand it's part of their cinematic universe, but still, like I don't like paying that much money if I'm already paying for your streaming service fee every month. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And I'm paying for the more expensive one because I'm getting the Hulu and the ESPN as well. So yeah. And the Hulu still has ads. So whatever. that's another story.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I see it. I'm just like I could wait, especially if you're gonna charge me that fee. At least let me buy the movie at that price.
Yeah, no, I get
that's
it.
what. That's what we pay. That's what we pay for our movies when they release. It's $15, $20, sometimes $30 if we wait past the release window.
$35 if you buy that steelbook.
Yeah. So.
Anything you want to say, Paul, before we switch gears?
With the whole HBO Max thing, I was just kind of looking it up right now. It looks like they hit about 60.5 million subscribers about 8 months after its launch. So that can't be right. 8.6 million accounts for the last quarter. So I mean that's a pretty decent number, but it does say on this that Disney Plus on its first day had 10 million signups in 24 hours. So that's how good Disney Plus has been doing compared to HBO Max since it's kind of new. But
yeah.
I mean that's
also bad. I mean, well, as far as that too though, the interface though, I think really fast to get kind of techie. The only reason too is HBO is still not available on every platform. Like Disney Plus was pretty much on every platform launch, whereas HBO Max barely got on Roku, I think, like about a month ago, and I don't even know because it's I use it on the Xbox, but and then I don't think it's on Amazon still. I still think Amazon is still, and Amazon is like one of the biggest streaming platforms. So to not have that's like you're shooting yourself in the foot.
For sure.
So But yeah.
But I think I seen another article that said something to the extent of Disney Plus hit their 5-year goal within their or 10-year goal or something like that this year, and it's only been out for a couple of years.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
again,
So-
it's because of the availability. That shit's on every platform though. Like you don't, I
And
don't
I
think
think-
you can get. It's like Netflix. You can get on any pretty much streaming or any operating system, and Disney Plus is available on it.
yeah. Hold on. Let me get my dog. Let me get my
Yeah,
dog
for
real
sure.
quick. Hold on a second.
So, I guess we'll shift gears to another cinematic universe right now. So, found out Tommy has not seen the picture that we're about to talk about. So,
Oh yeah.
I'll go ahead and open the thing I sent you. It's all the way down at the bottom of the article. You'll see it. It's
Okay.
very, what do you call it? Blasphemous. It's a very blasphemous picture.
Ooh. Let me check this
And
out.
I'm not really the religious guy. I just think it's kind of, I feel it's edgy just to be edgy. So we're waiting for Tommy's reaction. It's like
Is it just the one with Joker with the crown of thorns?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with you. They're just trying to stir up some controversy before they released the movie.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I'm not a fan of it. I'm a fan of the
No.
Gal Gadot picture in the middle of it, though. I'll tell you that. Apparently, according to this, I didn't know she was gonna quit acting altogether.
After this, or what do you
No,
mean?
so
According to-
like it was on her Instagram too. She posted the picture that's in the article where it's her from it's a still from Batman vs Superman basically. I guess she was like gonna quit acting, and then like Zack Snyder casted her in Batman vs Superman, and then she became Wonder Woman, and the rest is pretty much history
Oh,
for
okay.
her. But yeah, so I guess she was so that's why she's like really grateful for Zack Snyder, but yeah, I don't know. I just the whole that Jared Leto, all the Joker stuff is a reshoot. So I guess Zack Snyder's already been asked about it, and he's kind of said that it's just they only shot like almost 2 minutes of footage. So necessarily, I don't even know if this Joker still is in the movie. It could just be Jared Leto being Jared Leto and wanting controversy. So
yeah,
but.
not in the best taste. I'll say that.
I don't know. I don't get it. Like I don't understand the even in the, if it's not in the movie. If this is in the movie, okay. I guess we're trying to see what the context is. But if this is not in the movie, like what's the purpose of this?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it worked because we're talking about it. But like, I just see it's unnecessary. It just seems like it's this is unnecessary and it's just edgy to be edgy. And it's like, okay, cool, wow, you're I get it. You think you're Jesus. Dope.
I was thinking like this is like one side of it when it went to the look from Suicide Squad, where they try to make him look gangster.
Yeah.
Tattoo. They tried to be too edgy one way, and then at first when seeing the trailer, seeing him, I'm like, okay, that looks fine. And then they just dropped this picture. I'm like, I think they're just trying to be too edgy the other way now.
Yeah.
It just seems to me that they're fishing for publicity instead of just telling a good story, making a good movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because somebody was given advice to, I forget who it was given advice to Warner Brothers in how to launch the DCEU, like make their own cinematic universe, and the only advice they gave them was make one good movie, like concentrate on making one good movie and build off of that.
But the thing is, they
It
kind of had it, and it's already kind of like faltered now because of the sequel. Like Wonder Woman was kind of like that ability. Like Wonder Woman was kind of like, because I know she was before they started doing all this other casting. Like she was supposed to be like a main focal point of the Flashpoint movie. Like they were gonna be like, oh, okay, well, I guess they were gonna try to make her the Iron Man of the DC universe. Like they were like, all right, well, your movie was well received, so let's try to build around it. But then the sequel kind of left like, I don't know, like the general public now, I don't know if they're so sold on Wonder Woman being the anchor for this franchise now. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody needs to step up and put them on a course. Put them on, like, give them a direction. See where they're gonna go with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's just like really fast. It's just weird that all this stuff now is surfacing about the Snyder Cut now, like in terms of like the real story with like why he really left and how he like took his laptop and didn't think he'd ever get to finish making the movie, and I don't know. It's just it's weird. It's like I get it because they're trying to build hype for it, but at the same time, like the more stuff that comes out of it now, I'm kind of like I want to see it, but not as much as before, if that makes sense. Like there's so much like shit around the production that, like how you said, like the movie itself seems like it's lost in the hype for production. It's like, okay, why do I fucking care anymore? Like you even came out as a studio saying this isn't gonna go anywhere. Like this is just, you guys wanted it, you want to see his vision, here it is, but we're not building on it. So like there, I'm just like, okay, so then you're not excited about it. Why the fuck should I be? Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
So, Tommy, anything to add, or?
I was just gonna say I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
It's all a jumbled mess as of right now. Nothing consistent.
I agree with both of you guys. I just feel like they don't have a direction. Like it just feels like they're putting out movies just to make money without. And I guess that's.
For a studio, that's the goal. That's always the goal. Is
Yeah.
They just want money,
But I just feel they could make they could profit way more if they told better stories and actually interconnected. Because Marvel showed them the blueprint by crossing over their superheroes and having like turning their movies into comic books pretty much. Where you're waiting for the next one to tell you the next story.
I think that's just
the next chapter.
Warner Brother wanted to like break the mold because they originally were the first ones to make a superhero movie. So I think that's what they were just like, in that cockiness. It's like, all right, well, yeah, they made the Avengers and they built it too, but look, we can make you the Justice League in like 2 movies, boom. And it's like, yeah, I don't really care about the characters because the story is all over the place.
Would you hear the story? I think, what was it? The director of Mad Max was hired to make a Justice League movie around that time, without any. It was during when Nolan's Batman was still out there, and they were gonna cast a whole new Batman.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. I remember it was Arnie Hammer was going to be Batman.
Batman, and then some other Wonder Woman, and I don't even know who Superman was, but they were just gonna come out with the Justice League movie without doing individual movies first, and it just didn't make. They don't make any sense in what they're doing. It's just like you said, it's a movie to make a movie, but like I guess I could see where like Joker lives in a universe all by himself. Like it's its own thing. You know what I mean? You're not gonna tie that to anything. It's kind of just its own take on mental illness and stuff like that. So it's different. But they have so much potential to make like so much tell good stories, make a lot of money, and it just feels like they're dropping the ball with it. Especially with the whole Black Snyder thing.
Yeah, because there's still like there are movies that are coming out. I am excited for. Like I do want to see Suicide Squad. I want to see Shazam 2. I want to see Black Adam because they're gonna start. I mean, Brock's doing the training to start filming that soon. So, like,
aren't they filming it now or no?
No, he's starting the training for it. Like he's trying to get like in better shape before they start filming.
In better shape.
Oh.
Yeah, well, that's what he said. That's what he said because he's starting. He's posting his workout routine for it. So he's trying to get like more cut and shit. So
tell him to send us what drugs he's taking so we can get on that program. So you know that's not natural. Homeboy sleeps like 2 hours, gets up and works out for like 3. Crazy.
I don't know, man.
Taking something. He's on something.
He's on his energy drink. His energy drink that he's trying to promote right now.
They I know that Hawkman's supposed to be appear in that movie, and I don't know who else, but so should be cool. I don't know.
It's just at the same time, like how I said, I'm excited for them. I'm also confused then because I don't know where they're falling in this cinematic universe. You know, like that's the thing. Like there's with Marvel, like you can like there's intrigue of like, okay, I really don't know where you guys are going, but I can follow where you're wanting to go. And then with DC on the other side, it's like, okay, you guys are making all these movies, but Justice League was so like badly received originally, you guys were like, oh, maybe we're just gonna keep them their own little pocket universes, and then you're like, oh well, Flashpoint's gonna have all these other characters in it now, and I'm like, and it's like, okay, so you're rebooting the franchise or what? Like it doesn't like, and they haven't come out and openly said what they're doing, so it's just like, yeah, we're making these superhero movies, but then at the same time, like everyone's like, okay, are they connected? Because like, I think the first victim of that was Birds of Prey, because Birds of Prey, I mean, I know people hate the movie. I'm still like, I think it was entertaining. It was whatever. Huntress was kick-ass in it, I'll say that. But, like, at that same time, like, I don't know where that movie lies because of the fact that the James Gunn's version's coming out. So, like, her version of Joker, is that still what was out there? Especially with this, like, whole different version of Joker being seen in the Snyder Cut. Like it's just confusing. It's like, I'm like, I don't know what to... Where am I supposed to go? And no one from DC has stepped up and said, nah, this is canon, this is what's going on. They're just basically waiting to... They're basically... What is that saying? Where you just throw shit on the wall and see what sticks? Is basically what they're doing.
No, yeah.
They're basically just trying to see what people gravitate towards, too. It's like, oh, you like this? Okay, cool, this is canon. Oh, wait, you don't like this? Never mind. We're sorry, that's not canon now. This is canon.
You remember seeing the scene they had in the Flash TV show where they brought in Ezra Miller and they had like a scene. I didn't watch any of the episodes.
It was in the Infinite Crisis. It was like I haven't seen past season 4, but yeah, the last season, I think they're in 5 now. The last like major team up of Infinite Crisis had Ezra Miller Flash show up.
Hello? What the hell is this?
I'm asking myself the same question. Literally. No, this can't be happening. What are you doing here?
Well, I'll tell you that when you tell me where here is.
Yeah, so like where are you gonna go with that? Like somebody had to okay that, and what's the plan moving forward from that? You know what I mean? So hopefully they have a plan. Like hopefully they have some sense of direction and they're gonna make some good movies. Like, and from what I heard too, the Robert Pattinson Batman, like Matt Reeves wants to stay in his own world and not cross over with anybody. So that doesn't do us any good. You know what I mean? Then if I would want whatever universe they have to have a Batman. So if they don't want to play, then I guess
Michael Keaton's supposed to come back, so.
But he's 100 years old though. But what I'm saying is,
you could get Batman Beyond.
Like, yeah, you could do that. That'd be awesome to do some kind of Batman Beyond movie. That'd be great. But what I'm saying in regards to the if Matt Reeves wants to keep his Batman in his own universe and not cross over, then do some kind of Flashpoint thing with Flash, and then introduce a new Batman, and then make his own movies. But that'd be weird though, like having brought 2 Batman movies at the same time. You know what I mean? This just doesn't make any sense. Unless you're gonna do like Batman like Iron Man, and just have him pop in and Justice League and do like little crossovers like that. But I would want individual Batman movies, solo Batman movies as well. Maybe crossover a character too. Kind of how like they were doing with MCU, where you have Captain America does Civil War, Spider-Man has Iron Man come in. Things of that nature, you know what I mean? So
yeah, to show that they're all like interconnected.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's whatever. It's just
but
really weird. It's every week it's been something different, because it was the trailer the one week, and then the next week it's the still, and we're now 3 weeks away, based off of today. Yeah. Yeah,
but I think they've already said too they don't have any interest in doing another Zack Snyder Justice League, like to have him finish his vision Justice League 2 or whatever.
At the end of the day, it could all be a red herring too, because if this movie come the 18th is like a godsend for some reason, I mean, it could cause them to be like, you know what, maybe we should let him run the show. So what you just saw was the 23rd recording. Now I'm gonna cut to us talking about the Justice League trailer, because that's pretty much what was salvageable from the recording on the 16th. So here you go. So I guess now what we'll do, what I've been holding off to do for 2 days, is watch the Zack Snyder trailer. So I have not seen it. We all waited to do it live here, so I'm going to bring the trailer up, and we will watch it live, and then you can see our reactions. So I don't know what I'm going to do. People tried telling me stuff. I know before we start this, Zack Snyder showed an image of Jared Leto in his Joker version in black and white. Just from that image, I don't necessarily think he's copying Heath Ledger. I think the long hair thing just became standard for Joker now because they did it in Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. So I'm just giving that disclaimer before we start this. But we'll see what happens after I see the trailer. I could totally go a whole different way with this. So I'm going to push play, and here we go.
It's Luther.
There's an attack coming.
My lord,
Oh shit,
this world will fall.
I need warriors. I'm building an alliance to defend ourselves.
How do you know your team's strong enough? If you can't bring down the charging bull, then don't wave the red cape at it.
You were sent here for a reason. And even if it takes you the rest of your life, find out what that reason is.
They said the age of heroes would never come again.
Shayer's in black suit.
It will. It has to.
We live in a society where honor is a distant memory. Isn't that right? Batman.
I retract my previous statement.
What?
That did sound like he was copying Heath Ledger.
Oh.
It was like the slow, staggering talk and Batman. Yeah, just.
I just want to see it. I just want to see it just to see it. I'm not really excited for it based on his previous work. You know, I feel like they made the wrong choice by putting all their eggs in the basket in his basket and thinking he was gonna turn him into like a diamond, and it didn't happen. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Paul, any thoughts on it?
Actually, I think the CG looks cleaner than I was expecting.
Steppenwolf just looks super shiny now with all the armor.
I think it looks cohesive for the most part.
Oh, I mean, it looks cleaner. Like, I know I'm gonna get flack for comparing it to MCU, but I mean, it's a step in the better. Damn it, I can't talk. You know what I'm trying to say? It's one step closer to looking like Thanos. Like Thanos, I think as far as a CG character, is one of the more better ones because like there are times when he looks real, and
yeah,
I would like DC to get on that level. I didn't expect to see Darkseid, so
I did just,
but not in the trailer though. I thought they would like wait to blow their load, but I guess not.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing. They did the Batman vs Superman and dropped Doomsday in the trailer, so it's like
that's true.
They wasted that. They don't know what they're doing.
I still think it looked.
The cinematography looks clean. It looks like a really like beautifully shot movie.
We always say that about him, though.
But that's where I give the man his props. Like that man can shoot a movie. Like it's. I mean,
I know.
I didn't say write it. I said he could shoot it.
I'm just talking about the trailer right now. Like, it's cohesive. It makes sense. The colors look good. It's sharp.
It was reshoots. I mean, that Joker scene was a reshoot, and it looked pretty clean. So.
But we'll see in a couple weeks if that all is just for the trailer or if it was just like a mess throughout the whole thing.
I don't expect the Joker scene to be even a big thing anyway. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be more of those. Pretty much that scene dragged out from the stills because, yeah, I didn't expect him to talk like that. I mean, I guess it's kind of like his Suicide Squad, but not really. I don't know. It just... Obviously, the tattoos are gone, but I think he's also supposed to be a different world version because it's like the future. Like, it's a different timeline because I think that's the...
That was that nightmare scene.
Yeah, so it's a different timeline Joker. Yeah. He was wearing a SWAT uniform, too, which was weird.
Yeah.
But anything else on it, guys, that you have to say, or just whatever?
Can't wait.
Well, let's say, like, based off the trailer, like, as far as, like, getting you hyped, did it do its job or no?
I'm broken even right now.
Okay, like, so it's just, like, lukewarm?
Yeah. It's just new visuals for an old movie.
So, like, if this trailer never got made, like, you wouldn't really care. Like, you still would have seen it anyway. Like, the trailer didn't do anything to make you want to watch it.
I got that day off, man. I'm going to watch it, like, 4 times.
God. Well, you're gonna need a second day for that because it's.
That's 16 hours.
Might as well just watch 22 Marvel movies instead, dude. Yeah. So same question, Tommy. Did it do anything for you or not? Just lukewarm as well.
Yeah, same. I know who Zack Snyder is. Like I know who he is. I know what to expect with him. Like it's gonna look beautiful. I'm hoping for some good action scenes. But I'm gonna watch it just because we're there's nothing, we can't go to the movies. Like we can't hang out. Like if it was between hanging out with
content.
you guys.
That's the real thing.
Exactly. That's the perfect explanation for what I'm feeling right now. Like whatever, any kind of action movie or whatever, I'm on it. Something new, you know, because there's nothing out. There's nothing coming out right now.
Yeah. I'll be in the same vein. It was lukewarm for me. On a scale from 1 to 5, this trailer was a 3.
If I'm gonna rate the trailer, I'll probably be a little bit more generous. I'll give it like a 6, maybe. Because it didn't really make a lot of sense.
I'm doing it out of 5. That's what I said. 1 out of 3 out of 5.
Oh.
Not
it's about 10. The same then. So it's about the same. 6 out of 10 is 3 out of 5. Yeah. It's the same. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, not 6 out of 5. 6 out of 10.
I was gonna say, I was like, damn, that shit really got you excited then, huh? Well, I guess we'll jump ship to. I'm joined with my buddy Will. How's it going, Will?
Hey guys, I'm back.
Yes, he's back. So we're going to be talking about that Mortal Kombat trailer that dropped a couple days ago, and some gaming stuff, some stuff I didn't know that was apparently a big deal until this morning, which I find funny. And ironically, Will doesn't have that issue. He told me he has it with the other console. And then some Wandavision stuff, because why the fuck not? So, with that said, how have you been, Will? How was everything?
Oh man, it was a fun last week. For anybody who was living under a rock, Texas was frozen, more or less, for a whole week.
That's true.
Never seen it in the year and a half I've lived here. We had snow for probably 4 days straight. Just didn't melt at all. And then finally today it started melting, and it's pretty much gone by now. And it's actually like 60 degrees. It's fun. It's fun.
So if I were to get off a plane, would it even look like it had snowed last week, or would it just like in
no.
In your area or in all Texas, like pretty much all Texas now?
I think so. Where I live in Dallas, like North Texas, I'm pretty confident you won't find really any snow left. But like if you're going south, like Houston or San Antonio, I think they're I think it was going north to south, so I think they'll probably have some still left over. But yeah, it would probably look like it didn't snow at all if you would show up right now.
That's crazy. That's insane.
But other than that, it's been cool. And basically kind of spent this past week, didn't have work, treated like almost like a quarantine, didn't really want to go anywhere. We did play in the snow for a little bit, a few days. But yeah, other than that, just been keeping up with games, keeping up with some TV shows.
What games are you catching up on right now?
So I just finished Assassin's Creed Odyssey, almost 3 years later.
Oh snap!
And I did all the DLC.
I'll say you did the DLC though. I didn't do that.
Yeah, dude, that's such a grind.
How many hours did you put in? Because I think it's not even close to me what I did without DLC.
Probably not, because I got to a point where I was just knocking stuff off like a checklist. I couldn't really explore, or I didn't really have that mindset that I wanted to explore everything. It got to a point where I just wanted to knock everything off. I didn't want to see anything on my mission list. So I think at the main story, I've probably finished that around just under 60 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it'll across whatever side quest that I chose to do. And I think by the point I finished the main story, I was level 49 or 50. And then the DLC, so the first DLC was like something of the Legacy of the First Blade. That one's okay. That one doesn't. It kind of ties in some part of the Assassin's games that I think Odyssey doesn't really tap into as much as it should. Since it's almost like they're deviating away from the Assassin's Creed part and more so just kind of giving you a new, here's an action adventure game to get lost in, which with some loose kind of Assassin's Creed part that you wouldn't notice from previous games. But yeah, to me it was just really grinding. And the second DLC, which was the Fate of Atlantis, that one's more tapping into the Greek mythology part, which they kind of hinted at throughout the main game, but it didn't really kind of dive into it. I think that part was really fun. I think if they had made a whole game on that, which I'm assuming that Immortals Phoenix Rising game is kind of like what they would have wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because it seems like when I played the demo of Immortals, it felt like I was playing an Assassin's Creed game, just in a more Zelda-looking type of game. And it's the same studio that made it too, so I'm actually excited to play that game.
I think Odyssey was like a test for that.
Yeah, I mean it was fun overall, but I was kind of burnt out with it at the end of it. And now I've been trying to get into Valhalla, which that one I've probably 30 to 40 hours in. By the time I was playing today, and that one's better in terms of mission structure. There's not a huge checklist. Typically you just have one focus the whole time, and then once you finish that, then it's okay, now you can start this thing.
Yeah, I don't know that part for me though, because I'm playing Valhalla, but I'm not heavily invested in it like I thought I would be.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just some stuff that's weird. I guess it's also because I didn't play the DLC, so I guess when you play back as the girl doesn't have a lasting name on me, but the girl, the girl.
Layla?
Yeah, when you go back to her, and then there's the staff again, and something about her getting obsessed with the staff. I'm
very much brought up during the DLC.
Yeah, and I'm okay. I played the main story. I don't remember this happening.
Do you remember doing the Atlanta stuff in the main?
Yeah, I remember the main game, where you depending on because I played as Cassandra. So
yeah, same.
At the end when you see her again, and well, spoiler if no one's ever played the game. Sorry, ruined it.
It's been a while. It's tough.
But when you see her and then she gives you the staff and then she dies, that's what I remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember anything about her being obsessed with the staff or the staff calling to her or some shit like that. And I was like, what the fuck?
It's just weird because then Odyssey the story just kind of ends the order story with between the brother or sister, however, whatever, based on whoever character you chose in the beginning, it just kind of ends.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just keep going.
Did you get? Do you know what ending you got? Did you get the tragic ending? Or
I got the good one, which technically I saved him.
Yeah, so I got that one where her whole family basically.
And everybody's just cool now.
Yeah, everyone's cool at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just ended. I was like, all right. So then I moved on. And I think with Valhalla, I like the gameplay a little bit more. I think it feels more Assassin's Creed like. Because I think in Odyssey, one of my biggest thing was you couldn't really sneak around properly because you can get close to somebody, and unless it was like somebody super weak, I felt like I couldn't like assassinate anybody. It was always just like a stealth attack.
Yeah,
and then
that's
everybody
true.
just got alerted, which I think in Valhalla they kind of fix that more. I feel like I have more opportunities to actually sneak around.
Oh, well,
everybody.
Yeah. I mean, when I've gotten discovered, I can hide again, or you run and put the hood up, and then you're hidden again.
Oh yeah.
So.
And then they have like the blending back.
Yeah, the one thing
I think is cool.
If you could describe to me, maybe it was in because I guess I should also note that Odyssey was kind of the first Assassin's Creed that I did a complete playthrough. Like I dabbled in Assassin's Creed 2, but I didn't own it. I think I had just rented it, and then I took it back. So, but I did like Assassin's Creed 2, but I don't remember too much from it. But as far as like when you push down the right thumbstick and then you get like where it'll say like
the
fire crackling, or it'll like have little highlights where it'll say like stuff that's nearby. It says like wealth nearby, and it has like arrows and stuff like that. Like was that in previous Assassin's Creed games that they brought back, or was that new for this one?
So I think the structure of this one, like where it shows like wealth, I think it seems like it's more generic. Like, oh, if you want to look for like stuff to actually upgrade either your settlement or upgrade like weapons, like with the ingots and everything. I think they're just being more direct on like what you're going to be finding, because like in Odyssey it seemed like you just go to a chest and you get some random, get a random weapon, or you get a random money or anything like that. So depending on how you're trying to play Valhalla, if you're trying to upgrade your settlement, max everything out, like as far as upgrading your stuff, then you're going to try to go to all the wealth stuff. And I think that's kind of how I've been playing. Is I just go straight to the wealth, and then some like artifacts and the mystery stuff.
I haven't really done any of that.
I won't spend much time looking for all that stuff. The only thing my issue with Valhalla is so far is that I feel like the story is kind of whatever so far. I don't know how far you're into it. But
I got to the settlement, and then I have basically done the.
In England.
I've done the first upgrade. Yeah, I did the upgrade because I did like a side thing where I was just pillaging places to get wealth, and then when I guess I moved it along, his I guess it's his sister-in-law. I just found out that she can like scout places and stuff like that, and the next thing would be doing that part. So that's as far as. So, yeah, I know I'm not that far. That's because when I told somebody I wanted to, they're like, "Dude, I thought you liked Assassin's Creed." I'm like, "I do, but I don't know. This one just is like getting harder for me to get into." But that happened with Odyssey too, because Odyssey hit a point where like I was like, "this isn't that great," and then it got to the point where I think that I got pretty far in the story, and I just was like invested in the story. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck, this is actually pretty fun. And then, but it was like I want to say like maybe 20 hours in.
So far for me for Valhalla, it's essentially like, all right. Like you need the alliance of this, like they call it the alliance map.
Yeah.
You need to go here to get their alliance. You need to go here to get their alliance. So I've done 8 of them so far. And a lot of it's structured. I think a lot of it's structured the same way. You basically go do 4 missions within that settlement for whoever, and then once you're done, normally it ends with you facing some sort of boss of some kind. You kill them or do whatever. Then you come back, like, hey, I finished this. Like, all right, cool. All right, so, and then you have to decide which one you want to do next.
Okay. Well, there's supposed to be like an update, because I know the other thing too, just because I was based off of Odyssey, but I guess some people like that, and I guess you probably are in that camp where there's no side quest assigned, so it's just like.
Yeah. I think just the idea of seeing all that stuff, and the other thing that because they changed the way the leveling is, because in Origins and Odyssey, it is all like level based. So you can do the mission, but if you were under a certain level, especially that one part in Odyssey, there's like a certain kind of story mission you do, and then after you finish that story mission, the next one is like 3 levels or something higher.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, oh.
When you went to go, what was it called? Was it the Hydra? The order that you end up killing. Like I remember there was like a huge jump afterwards. I'm like, whoa! Like everyone's like fucking 50, like level 50 and all this shit now. Yeah.
So that's the cool thing with Valhalla is they basically got rid of that, because I think that was a big issue, was the leveling. So now since it's all skill based, like your power level, the power level really doesn't change. I mean, there's like a certain range you should be at, but it's not Like I did one that was like 20 power levels higher, and it really wasn't that difficult.
Oh, that's good.
Overall, the game's, I don't think the game's that challenging compared to Odyssey, because I feel like Odyssey, if you get ganged up, like you can.
Oh yeah, I was dying left and right.
Get, especially those mercenaries. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I hated those things. Like you would, like if you were just in the wrong section, and then all of a sudden, like you're like attacking them, and then the mercenary just comes, and then the next thing you know, there's like 3 mercenaries, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, like aside from Assassin's Creed, before we turn this into an Assassin's Creed podcast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, just that Rocket League with Brian and his friends, and then just kind of keeping up with kind of some other TV shows. So that's pretty much it. I've been just like focusing most of my time into those couple games.
Oh, that's cool. No,
At least in the last couple months.
Yeah, I need to. I'm probably gonna I'll like play a little more Valhalla. I've kind of been playing NBA because we got it for dirt cheap at Costco. I got $10 for the Kobe Bryant edition.
Oh,
so yeah, so I that's why I bought it on Xbox. And then at work we kind of been doing a work league, so I've been playing that, and I'm like intermittent now. I still not as good, but I've got forced to kind of get good because they're all playing Hall of Fame mode. So and then I play a little bit of Kingdom Hearts again just because it's on there. And then now that stuff with work, I guess I'm still gonna have 40 hours, which I'm confused on, but we'll see what happens. But next week I was gonna start streaming like all the Final Fantasy games on Twitch, so and play Final Fantasy 2 all the way up till like the new Final Fantasy. So did you just turn your hue lights on?
Yeah, I noticed it was darker.
Yeah. Oh yeah, your Xbox is on too, and it's got the Assassin's Creed achievements on it.
I was definitely playing that right now too.
It's all good, man. Oh, I need to. Like, I was gonna ask you because the Game Pass, NHL 20. How is have you played 21 or is it
20 is better than 20? Well, I think overall you're better off just playing 20 for free and not worrying about buying 21, unless you want like rosters and stuff.
No, I can just mess around with that stuff, but
unless you really need freaking Petrangelo on your team. That's probably the only thing that you would notice differently.
I could always create it, but
yeah, I mean, since it's like included with Game Pass, I would just do that because gameplay wise, it's virtually the same. I did because you can do the 10-hour trial.
Yeah, I haven't done any of that yet, but yeah.
So you can give it a shot and see if you think there's any differences.
I saw you were playing NHL Rewind. Is that like super fun?
Oh God!
Because everyone was like,
I think that's definitely I think that's more so if like you did play that game in 1994, like the year it's based off. Because I tried playing it, and I think I got Brian to download it too, and you can play online, and it was just the controls are just so wonky. It's just not something that I enjoyed, but I'm sure there's definitely a nostalgic part of it.
Yeah, I just like I have some friends who were like, "Oh, are you playing NHL?" I was like, "No, I have Game Pass," and then they're like, "Oh, you should play NHL Rewind." I'm like, "Rewind? What?"
Yeah.
So
it's essentially just the current rosters. Kind of like, I don't know if you remember, MLB The Show added a retro mode a couple years ago, and they essentially made it so it was like one tap, and it's basically you only use like 2 buttons in the whole game mode instead of utilizing the full
like,
simulation controls that they have for the current gen.
I'm still on the fence if I should get that this year. Well, I don't know if I should get it on Xbox or just wait to get it on PlayStation.
I actually think I might get it on Xbox, just for the hell of it.
Oh, dope. Oh, we'll see. Well, I might.
And Brian's getting it too.
Okay, cool.
Because so I don't know if we told you, but Taylor got the Series X, so he sold his old 1X to Brian because Brian didn't really have he had a Switch and that was it.
Yeah, no, I remember that because when you're saying Rocket League, I know it's cross-platform, so I thought that's how you guys were playing. Because I thought he was playing a Switch.
We were until he got the Xbox, and then he was like, "This is like 10 times better than playing on the Switch."
Oh hell yeah! Oh, that's cool.
Graphics wise and control wise, so yeah, he's fully invested on the Xbox now, which is different.
Yeah, no, that's good. Well, yeah, because I mean, as far as like if he has Game Pass, we can play all the same games. He just doesn't get like the new gen, but yeah.
we'll need to get you on Rocket League.
Yeah, I can download it. It's not like it's gonna cost me anything.
No, it's free.
But you have to pay for like the Batmobile and shit, right? Because I saw my brother said that they added that to the game.
Yeah, I mean, it has back. It's kind of like Fortnite. Like, if you want to buy skins and like change up, you can pay for credits and use the credits to buy stuff. Or they have like bundles. You can pay directly for the bundle and not buy the credits ahead of time. I mean, it has nothing to do with the actual game itself, but a lot of the stuff is pretty expensive.
Yeah, no,
I don't know. A lot of it's really not worth spending the money.
Well, no, I mean, a lot of those games, like, they're popular for a reason, and they keep making content for it for a reason. So,
yeah.
So, with that said, I guess since we're kind of are still on video games, we can just talk about the video game stuff. This morning, because I still follow Wario64, because I'm still trying to get my PlayStation 5 for myself.
Yeah.
And he posted some stuff about Monoprice having a PlayStation 5 controller. And all the comments were like, oh, does it include drift? And like all this stuff about drift. And I was like, really? I thought that was only for Switch controllers. And then I really fast like Googled it. And I guess Kotaku did an article on it actually yesterday saying that like how it's a big issue. And as far as like for you to fix it, like the Kotaku article said that they actually tried to see if like how easy it is to fix. And basically, when you get on PlayStation, because they can tell you to go through like the Sony help thing.
Yeah.
And when you get on it, they said that like every message on there automated. There's like 17 automated messages saying, "This is not the way to get PlayStation 5. We do not know where PlayStation 5s are located. This is not how you do it." And when you finally get to it, talk to somebody, that the person says, oh, "Okay, it's covered, but you have to pay for shipping, and shipping varies depending on where you live, and then they don't charge you anything for shipping it back out to you." But I guess it's a big issue. I guess people were complaining. There was some guy who made it known that he had PlayStation 5 for like 10 days and like he was having like really bad drift. I asked my little brother. He says he doesn't have that issue. He didn't even know that was a thing. And then apparently you don't.
Yeah, like I in all honesty, like I got both and I've been playing both. Honestly, like it's been like ever since I finished Miles Morales on PS5. I really haven't gone back to the PlayStation. Because my plan was always to treat it as like the exclusive machine, and so far, I think outside of Miles Morales, and I'm not into the Souls games as much. I think I might dabble into that Demon Souls remake if it was cheaper. I haven't really touched the PlayStation 5 that much, but when I was playing Spider-Man, I had no issue on both controllers I was using. I was switching off when I had to charge one. And then I finally got my hands on that charging station because that's been impossible to find.
Yeah, which is surprising because my little brother's like, "Hey, can you get that for me?" And I was like, "Yeah," and then I couldn't find it anywhere.
I got lucky in I think PlayStation Direct. I had it open for. I just saw it at the right time and I was able to get an order in pretty easily and it showed up like 2 days later.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, on both controllers I've had issues and. Even when I was playing MLB 20 yesterday, and I was playing online, no issues. I didn't have any issues like with it, like messing with a swing or messing with fielding or anything like that. So I know it's definitely an issue, though. It seems like it's a lot. I don't think it's as big as the Joy-Con thing for the Switch was back then, but
well, we'll see if anybody's going to sue. Because it only became a bigger thing when Nintendo, I guess, started to acknowledge it after they were getting sued for it. So
yeah, of course, money's involved.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I just thought that was crazy. Because didn't you say you're actually having issues with the one that came with the X?
Yeah, so the one that came with my Series X, the left stick, I would try to keep moving, and then it would kind of get stuck. And I still had an Xbox One controller, like the regular one, so I synced it up with the new console, and I was using that just fine. And then I just got the Elite controller, the second gen, I think last month or two ago. But that one also no issues. I even put a service request with Microsoft for the controller itself, and I haven't gotten any box or anything to ship it back out. So
that sucks.
I don't know, but I mean, it wasn't a huge deal because thankfully I had the extra controller, but it was a kind of a pain in the ass because there's times I would just kind of go up. And then I would take my thumb off the stick, and then the character or whatever would just keep going in that same direction. And I had to essentially, like, shift the buttons around to like kind of reset it, and then it would stop.
That's crazy.
But it would happen so often. Like we were playing Rocket League and trying to move the vehicle, like it wouldn't do any sort of movement. It would just keep doing the same thing. So it would mess up timing and all that stuff. So I was like, you know what, I'm just not even bother. So I left it sitting it off to the side for the time being.
That's crazy. Yeah. No, I mean the one I have is fine. To be honest, I really didn't use it that much because literally like after I got the Xbox, I want to say like 2 days, because I actually got the Xbox a lot sooner than I thought, because it was supposed to come to me. It said like January 13th or something, but I ended up getting it 2 days after Christmas, which was dope. So I started playing that, and then same thing, like my mom and sister got me the Mandalorian controller as like a birthday or Christmas present / birthday present, and I got that like I want to say like a week after the Xbox came, and that's supposed to arrive like later too. So after that I don't really touch the other one, with the exception of when I was playing UFC 3 for like 4 days, just because of like I changed the submission. Instead of me doing that stupid thing with the right stick and thumb, like I just changed it to button mashing, but I just used the other one because I didn't want to fuck up the Mandalorian controller. So
it makes sense. How do you like your Xbox so far? I know we were talking about this before the consoles launched. There was a lot of kind of, nobody was really sure like how worth these consoles were going to be.
Yeah.
Especially on the Xbox side of things, when they didn't really have many exclusives to kind of show. How do you like it so far?
I like it a lot. So I gave my S to my sister. Right now, me and her are sharing Game Pass because she had the $1 thing. It's about to end though, so I'm gonna go back on and pay for it myself. I haven't dabbed the PC stuff because I can't yet, so I'll see if I end up doing the PC stuff. But I like it. I now lay it down. For the first couple days, I had it up, but because the ventilation of it is up, and then it was like I don't really think it was ruining my TV, but I just had the stigma of, oh fuck, it is, because like there's just fucking hot air going right into the TV, and when I would, like, after I turn off the Xbox, like, I'd feel like under that section it was like super hot, and I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna melt this plastic eventually. So I just laid it down. I lay it down now, but other than that, I mean, it's really surprisingly super quiet. I already got a 2 terabyte hard drive to it. I haven't bought the expansion yet, but I guess I haven't really seen the need to do the expansion yet. I feel bad for my little brother because the PlayStation 5, he's already out of room. I did buy him an external, so all his old games, that kind of helped it out, but any new stuff, he's kind of has to pick and choose what he's going to want to do until they make one.
Yeah, that's weird. I wonder what they're waiting for, because
well,
I mean, granted, the Xbox expansion is pretty expensive for 1 terabyte, but at least there's an option for it.
Well,
like PlayStation hasn't said anything about it.
So the way PlayStation's is though, because it's an MSATA hard drive.
Yeah.
Those things are pretty fucking expensive, like for faster RPM. So I think the regular, because the RPM that it reads at is exclusive. Like there's no PC that does that right now, at least for consumers. So I haven't really researched it, but at the time, like I want to say before the consoles dropped, I want to say it was like $300 for like 1 terabyte of that, and that was like at the 3 gigahertz clock speed. And doesn't the PlayStation 5 clock in at 4?
That's probably something I don't know exactly, but I'm sure.
I just know it's faster, and I know because I know they got asked about that, and they said that by the time the PlayStation 5 becomes like more available for people to buy anyway, that they expect the technology to be a little cheaper, and then because I don't think they were planning to release the expansion until like sometime this spring anyway. So
I mean I've yet to come or at least max out my PS5 drive, but a lot of the third-party stuff I've been getting on Xbox anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty much
kind of
what I'm
stuff
doing
anyway
now,
too.
Because my little brother was like, because there's a couple games that we were gonna share, and then I'm like, you can. I mean, like I'll still help you out with it, dude. But I was like, I'm probably not gonna play it. Like the only because I know the next gen version of it dropped, and I want to see how good the load times are. I might wait for just to play that on PlayStation again, but by that time probably nobody would even care. Is the Avengers game. And then I have I have it saved since my account's on that PlayStation 5. I just need to get my own. But like Mortal Kombat, pretty much all the stuff that converted over to next gen, I'm waiting to play it on PlayStation that I have already saved. But
yeah,
I like the next gen on 2K21 on Xbox is freaking sick. So
yeah, I have that too. I've only been, I tried doing my team. I can't, like, going from like they call it Diamond Dynasty and MLB.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you like that, did you play that though?
Oh yeah, dude, I love Diamond Dynasty.
That's why I'm saying, like, I don't get, like, because I didn't even dabble in my team until 2K. I want to say like 2K19. Like I had played 2K since like 2K freaking 12, and then like I never dabbled with it. And then one day I was like, it was they were giving away I think Allen Iverson, and I was like, I want to play as Allen Iverson.
Oh,
and then I did the code for him, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh dude, this is fucking sick. And so like, but at the same time though, I think how you are about baseball is how I am about basketball, so that's probably why I like it more.
Well, the thing I probably put like maybe 10 hours into my team out of the time I've been playing 2K this year, and my only concern with that is, like, you can get a decent team for not that whole lot of money, but if you want to get, like, I guess, like, was it Galaxy or Opal
Galaxy
or whatever,
Opals,
like, yeah, like the higher end, like upper 90s cards, like you essentially either have to have a lot of the in-game credits to buy packs for it, or like you're grinding like crazy to get to that point. Because in MLB The Show, you have a lot of opportunity to get like free cards just by playing the game versus like actually spending credits on stuff.
It also depends, I think, when you do it, because at least how it was for last year 2K20. I bought 2K21 after the finals already, but 2K20's version of my team around the finals time and playoffs time, they were giving out.
They're giving stuff away at that point.
Yeah, it was super easy because my 2K20 team was a beast. I had like, I want to say like after the playoffs, I had pretty much my lowest rated player was like 80, 82. Everyone else was like 90s, 95, like, and my bench was like all like low 90s when I was putting them in. So
nice. Okay. Yeah. I think it's just the game modes. Because I think I can actually like be competitive with MLB Online. I'm not good enough to do that on 2K.
Oh, dude, I haven't even began to
yeah, it's too much cheesing. Like a couple times I did play, I was like, oh man, I can't get the shot timing down online either.
No,
offline.
The only game I've played online, I guess that's competitive, would be Mortal Kombat. That was like the only one that I felt comfortable with, because I mained as noob and I'm actually pretty like decent. So I just haven't. I want to play that on the next gen. I'm just debating if I should bite the bullet and just buy it again on Xbox, because the PlayStation, like, I want one, but at the same time, like, I guess I'm kind of treating it like you. Like, I know it's only going to just be for exclusive games, because on my third parties, I'm just going to buy on Xbox. Because going forward now, everyone's going to use ray tracing and the actual features of Xbox. So I'm just like, I don't know. It's just weird, because like if I can kind of get them, but I want a digital version, not the disc. And every time I've had the chance to get the PlayStation, it's the disc version. And the only reason I ended up buying it for my brother is because, one, that was like his Christmas present. And then two, like, he didn't have because he was getting into his PlayStation 4 and he still watched like Blu-rays and stuff on it. And that's when he like realized, he's like, oh, I'm not going to have one anymore. I was like, well, that's what we'll buy you the disc version so that you can at least do that.
Yeah.
So like it made sense to buy it for him. For me though, like, I have no real need for the disc. So
I mean, that's why I got the digital one, because I knew I was getting the Series X. So any Blu-ray physical stuff, anything I was gonna get cheap, I guess. I was gonna just get through the Xbox, like, for disc, because everybody's concerned with digital is that, oh, you don't own the rights to it and all that stuff. Half the time, like, I don't have a big collection of games. Like, the stuff you see, it's all movies. So I have like one physical game now out of everything. Everything else I have digitally.
Ironically,
either through Game Pass or buying digitally. For
the disc right now, for the Series X, I forgot I have to play it, and now that I'll probably do that later. I have the Wolf Among Us game you gave me for Xbox. That's just been chilling, so I need to play that.
I forgot I gave you.
Yeah, I have South Park, Fractured Butthole, NBA 2K21, and then because it was dirt cheap, It's, I don't know if you can see it. It's in front of my little Wally thing. It's Cyberpunk. I have the disc of it because it was like dirt cheap. Like for 1 week, it was like $30 with Steelbook.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I bought it. It's just when the next gen version comes out. It's supposed to come out like next month or something, right?
I think they might be pushing that to like the fall, possibly.
I wouldn't doubt it because I heard the last update like bricked it even more. So.
Yeah, I bought it digitally, and then as soon as they opened refunds, I sent it back. I think I put like 5 hours into it. It was cool. Like it worked on Series X. It wasn't mind blowing, like the way it looked and the way it played. So I was like, you know what? I'd rather get the money back for it, put my time into other stuff, wait for that to come back out, and I don't have any problem rebuying it later, but it definitely wasn't ready.
From when I played it, because I played it on the Pro, so I did experience where my gun disappeared, the hat I put on my character disappeared, I had some weird glitching happen, but other than that, I guess it was playable. Since I shared it with my brother, I kind of was like, in the offering refunds, I wanted to do it, but my little brother was like so far in the story that he's like, I'll just play through it. And then after he beat it, I was like, we can still get a refund. Do you want a refund? And he was like, no, that's dishonest. And I was like, all right. so
Come on, Armando.
I played a good guy version there. So
wow.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I did hear the nightmare of Project Red is that I guess when it came out, like a lot of some of the teams, like they didn't care and they just straight up said, yeah, man, we were given the 100-hour work weeks and shit, and then basically they kept telling us we're gonna be fine. We made The Witcher 3, so.
I love The Witcher 3 so much, but like to go from that to the way they handled this game.
Well, did you buy Witcher 3 at launch?
Yeah.
So wasn't it also plagued with glitches too and bugs? Like it wasn't a perfect game?
It was, but I mean, it wasn't perfect by any means. But I think at the time when I think I played for a little bit, and then because that game kind of like Assassin's Creed Odyssey is just so much, and I think that's Odyssey was going for like a Witcher 3 type of game, because that's exactly what I remember doing, is like having all these quests. I just like the story in Witcher more by comparison. But as far as glitches and stuff, I think there was a couple like bugs, but I don't think there was anything as game breaking that I remember personally. I could be wrong. I'm sure others had different experiences, but nothing to the extent that Cyberpunk was dealing with.
Gotcha.
And I think they were quicker about getting that stuff fixed. Granted, they didn't have to think about like optimizing it for other consoles or anything like that. They just focused on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. But again, like if they're going to delay it so many times, which they did in the last couple of years, and still come out the way it did, it's pretty ridiculous.
No, it was the hype. I think.
Yeah, I think they knew what kind of, they saw the pre-order numbers and they're like, it's gonna be bad, but I love money.
That's pretty much what it came down to. And I have a feeling, would you have? I mean, now that I have the next gen anyway, but like if they had have said Project Red was not coming out for like PS4 Pro or Xbox X, and just said, hey, we're focusing on next gen, do you think that backlash would have been as bad, or you think it would have been lesser?
I think if they delayed it and says like, look, like this is, I think they didn't want to do that just for the sake of like, because of the shortages in the consoles, like not being able to actually find a console. Like if they had done that, like they would have risked like hundreds of thousands of pre-orders probably either getting canceled or not getting fulfilled. So I'm sure that was probably in the back of their head, because they, in reality, they should have done that. Like, especially if they were going to delay it into the point where it was coinciding with launching these new consoles. If they had said like, look, like a year or so ago, it's like, hey, we're not going to be releasing this game for Xbox One, PS4 anymore. It's kind of like Breath of the Wild. Technically, it was supposed to come out for the Switch, or it was only like the Wii U, and then eventually kind of went into like the Switch. They still released it on the Wii U, and I guess it worked fine. But like there's times where games just get into that point, and at that point, if you know it's gonna look better on a certain console or it's gonna perform better, like if you're gonna release it, make sure it works.
Yeah. On
the intended target, because if they're gonna keep claiming it's like, no, this is actually the Xbox One version, or this is the PS4 version, like the PS5 version isn't gonna come out until next year. It's like, so why even release it at all?
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. We'll see. Regardless, I mean, I have that game. I'm just waiting to play it when it is new gen. So.
Cool. Well, let's talk about this FPS boost thing then.
Yeah. So it's I want to say Wednesday, Tuesday, maybe Tuesday. They came out with the article saying that they're gonna do faster frames per second on older games. So you'll get games that were playing 30 frames per second now 60, and in some cases 120. Unfortunately, my TCL TV won't let me push 120 yet, so RIP. But you could. Have you played any of the games like that right now?
No, so I watched the. I mean, I played some games in general backwards compatible, but I watched the Digital Foundry video that was showing the games that were on that short list, which I think is Far Cry 4, which I don't have on Xbox. I played it on PS4 at the time. I think it was Sniper Elite 4, which is on Game Pass, which I may actually try to get into. Super Lucky's Tale, which was that platforming game. That's the one that actually can go to 120 out of those few. Oh, and Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, which I'd never played because I tried Watch Dogs 1 and I didn't get hooked. It wasn't my game.
Not the Dell Limit, but I think Watch Dogs 2 is better than Watch Dogs 1. And Watch Dogs 2, in my opinion, better than Legion, which I tried Legion and I just can't. It's just not fun. Oh, wow. It's just story-wise, it's not exciting. But anyway, yeah, I think that feature is really cool. To show like games that not only like work really well on Xbox Series X now, but then to kind of take that source code and not even really do anything with the code itself, because it's the console doing all the boost. Apparently,
it's a hardware boost. So
yeah, it's like the developers don't even have to touch the game for it to do it, and I thought that was really unique. And I think there's a lot of games, like I know a lot of people clamoring for it right now too, on the PlayStation side, but games like Bloodborne or like Souls games, that were locked at 30 frames. Like if PS5 could figure out a way to like double that would make everybody happy.
And I think it's one step games closer, like that too, because I have friends that are like strictly PC gamers. Yeah, and it's for that reason. It's like, oh, dude, the frames per second is unbeatable on a PC. And I haven't had the luxury of doing that too, because my monitor for computer right now is barely just a 60 hertz. So I would have to up that to be able to experience the frame rates that people are talking about. Yeah. But the fact that all I have to do is upgrade my TV now to like an OLED or the Sony 9 series, and I'll be able to get, like way smoother gameplay. And because playing like Valhalla in itself, just do it to 60 frames per second at the 4K itself was fucking beautiful. And I'm like, oh, dude, I can only imagine like being able to play games at 120 hertz. And I'm sure just even in 1080p, it's gonna look like make way more of a difference than just playing 4K 60.
The one game I played that I think it absolutely helped in the boost. I mean, separate from this FPS boost, but just like the developers going back and like optimizing it was Destiny 2. Because that one was only capped at 30 frames on the old consoles, but they had an update last month to make it 60 frames on the new consoles, and oh my god. And it's like 4K 60. And then I think on Xbox, and maybe PlayStation also, I'm not sure, but on Xbox you can do 120 frames if you're doing the Crucible multiplayer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is wild. But I think it's good. I think this is one of those features that really can allow the Xbox to actually like they talk about all the teraflops and the power and everything. Yeah, this is like a good example of that actually like being showcased, being
utilized. Yeah,
because right now we're relying on developers to kind of make that happen, and some games are doing better than others in that regard. But them actually being able to like go back and find games that they can enhance to this degree, so that way they're on the pace of, maybe not exactly, but closer in spec wise to like how PCs run games. So it actually allows people to see the usefulness of having a home console that can do all that stuff. Yeah. And maybe games that people have never played, like Sniper Elite. I mean, none of those games that I mentioned are like masterpieces or anything like that. But
the Lucky Tail game has a fan base, though.
Yeah.
I think that was the one that stuck out the most, that I know that like people would clamor for out of those.
Yeah, and then even what was it? Oh, like Far Cry 4, I like that game, but I don't know if I'll go back and like want to play the whole game. It's just one of those things that you go back and kind of see how it plays.
I'd want them to do that with the 5 or 6, if they could. Mm-hmm. Like if they're gonna do other Far Cry games, I'd prefer 5 or 6 to get that boost.
Yeah, and then I know like they fixed God of War on PS4. So on PS5, if you're playing on PS5, you can do 4K 60 frames now.
Yeah, my brother played it. He went back and started playing it just to see that. So
yeah, so I did a New Game Plus of that earlier, and yeah, it's just as beautiful. I'm shocked at how well that game still, like night and day,
holds up.
Even compared to like some other games I've been playing on Series X, like it's still like fucking beautiful.
Yeah, that's the thing, because the games that are gonna make me try to find a PlayStation faster obviously would be the second God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn's the sequel to that. Yeah, I'm trying to think, but those don't come out till I think isn't for the Horizon sequel come out this fall, right? It comes out.
It's supposed to come out this fall. I think there was a rumor that God of War may come out, but I feel like
I think that's next year. I don't think that would be a.
That's what I think too. I wouldn't worry about putting that out this year.
But that's the thing too, because there's other games the games that I have now that I just want to see play on PlayStation 5, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, and I would play Last of Us 2 again on PS5 just to see how different it is.
But I understand why.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah. So it's still a game that I mentally not ready to play again, but eventually we'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, the game itself is a technical like masterpiece. Yeah. But yeah, I would probably check in just to see. I was like, okay, that looks cool. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Delete.
Yeah, dip in and dip out. Yeah. So. That should be interesting. Is there any titles off the hand that you like are clamoring for them to redo? Like an Xbox game you played all the time that you just want to see in like 60 or 120?
I mean, realistically, it'd be like shooters. Like if they would do like Titanfall 2, like if they could figure out a way to like boost that up double, because I think it is 60 frames if I'm not mistaken. But like that game of 120 would be wild. Like the Master Chief Collection, I think they did put an update for it. I'm not sure.
I think Halo was for sure. I think the new one, when it does come out, it's going to be available at 120.
I want to say something had an update at 120 for Halo, but I'm not 100% on that. I don't remember in particular. Yeah, I mean, mainly shooters I think are the ones that benefit the most from it. Because like a lot of open world games, like I think 60 frames is a good choice, but I don't have any of those games like open world games that I really want to go back to, and like I absolutely have to play it.
Yeah.
The only one maybe would be like maybe Witcher 3, just to see how that would run. But I don't know if I'm ready to invest that much time into that sort of game.
I wonder if like
just to enjoy all that.
Would you go back and play like Red Dead Redemption if they did that, like 120?
See, that's the other thing. I think that would be cool to check out, but I think for me, Red Dead Redemption wasn't something that it's like, oh, I always have to go back to and play.
Yeah. Which is funny because when that came out, I thought I was gonna get into the online aspect of it, kind of like how the GTA 5 online thing happened. I couldn't get into it.
No, and that was the same thing for me with GTA 5 also. Like, online-wise, that sort of game online doesn't do it for me. It's not something that I enjoy. I know it's super popular and they're still doing updates, and I think they're supposed to have a next-gen update on GTA 5 also, but like those types of games are not something I really want to go back to.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. Yeah.
Good for Xbox figuring something out like that.
Yeah, it's exciting. We'll see. We'll see in like I want if they compare their quarter 4 earnings of last year to like when 2021 comes up, to see like what features they think made it sell more, because I know like PlayStation is just word of mouth. Seems like the more popular console, but I also think it's just because it's the harder one to get right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and that's kind of like when PS4s came out too. I mean, you couldn't find PS4s for a little bit just because of how popular it was. now you really can't find them because they just don't have them.
Yeah.
Like there's times where I'll show up at a store and I'll see like a pallet full of them, and all of them have like .com tags or something like that are just now getting filled.
Yeah.
But I've yet to go into a store and see either console, S, X, or any of the PS5 versions available to go up and buy.
Yeah, as far as like for Costco, all the time, at least still like twice a day, I'll get you got any PlayStation 5s or you got any Xboxes? Like, no. Oh, come on, man,
I would just be telling people, like, look, man, it's only online right now.
No,
like,
that's all I tell people.
I'd
be like, honestly, I was like, we probably won't expect. I go for like a Costco to have a physical thing until probably like this following Christmas. To be honest, because we sell it, but it's all online, and they go like super fast.
Exactly.
And some of the bundles, I was gonna say at one point our bundle was good, but I don't know. Like, we don't sell digital bundle, so I won't be buying PlayStation through my job. We just sell the physical bundle, but we sell it with Miles Morales, and I think it's
like an extra controller or something.
Extra controller, and then like I want to say like 3 months of PlayStation Plus, and it's $600, so or $650. I think it's $650, which is at one point I was like, oh, that's not that expensive, but.
I mean, if you plan on buying the stuff, maybe if that's your incentive. I mean, that's what GameStop was doing for a lot of their bundles too. They're just throwing a bunch of stuff into one bundle. They weren't even saving money. It was just, well, if you're gonna buy it, you gotta buy all this stuff with it.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, they did it to eliminate bots, but
yeah,
because I bought my Xbox by itself, but I got my Xbox through Walmart. And,
oh, that's right.
And I got lucky for that. So, because I had it through GameStop once, and then it got canceled. I had it through Amazon, and it got canceled. And then Walmart just stuck. And I was like, oh, that's ironic. But yeah, we'll see. Well, switching gears now from video games. We'll do video games that are being turned into movies. So, the Mortal Kombat, it is a remake. Trailer dropped on February 18th. It has a release date of April 16th. It'll be in some theaters, wherever theaters are open in the country, and then it'll be on HBO Max. So another Wonder Woman situation.
Well, any other movies now? They've had they've already had like 3 or 4 movies now that are doing that.
Yeah, well, it started with Wonder Woman. There was one for last month. Oh, the Jared Leto movie.
Yeah, Little Things.
Something. Yes.
Yeah.
This month was Judas and the Messiah, which I do want to see. And then next month will be the Snyder Cut, and it will be, well, Snyder Cut doesn't go in theater, so that doesn't count. But it will be Godzilla vs. Kong is their March.
And they got the Tom and Jerry movie too, which I think that might be only on HBO Max.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know there was a HBO, like a cartoon movie. I'll watch it because I watch Tom and Jerry.
Oh yeah, same.
So I'm excited for that. But yeah, so we're gonna watch the trailer right now.
Yeah.
And let's take a look. It's a Red Band trailer, by the way. So for some reason, if kids are watching this, I don't understand. I use a lot of profanity, but if there are kids watching this, like, yeah, it's a Red Band trailer. You've been warned.
Okay.
First learned about this 7 years ago. On a mission in Brazil to capture a wanted fugitive. When we got there, it tore through our unit in seconds. The target had superhuman abilities.
It's very, very much like the game now.
The Jax?
It had the same.
Yeah, well, just the gore and everything. So.
Yeah.
Birthmark.
What do you mean?
He was born with it.
It's not a birthmark, Cole.
I just don't know how I feel about this person. But
You've been chosen.
Throughout history, different cultures all over the world reference a great tournament of champions. That dragon marking? I think it's an invitation to fight for something known. As Mortal Kombat.
These are your champions.
I'm Sonya. That's Kano.
I'm Liu Kang.
Name's Jax.
See, so I don't get it. Is Kano good in this? That's the only thing, because they introduced him as a champion.
The fate of Earth is in our hands.
No matter how many of my people you put in the ground, we will not fail. Kill them.
Wins. You fucking beauty.
It just looks like so much fun.
Oh yeah, it looks way. I just like that it's more like the video game. So like the original ones, I like the first one. The second one was just god awful, but this looks way like. Did you ever watch the Mortal Kombat Legacy stuff on YouTube, or it was Machinima?
So, like as far as Mortal Kombat stuff goes, I'm not super into it. Like I'll dabble in the games a little bit, but I've never been invested in like lore. Or, like I'll know some of the characters, but I don't know like the whole roster by any means. I just knew it was synonymous with like gore and like fatalities and just being excessive.
And
which
a kick-ass theme song. So
yeah.
So
but I remember them saying that this movie's coming out. I forgot it was coming out this soon. I thought it was
next
a little
year.
bit out.
Yeah, I thought it was one more year out, but
I'm
Go ahead.
excited.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I do wish this was in theaters. This is something I definitely would be watching in Dolby if I could.
Yeah.
The movie itself, though, because it is a reboot officially, not a sequel to the first two movies, has been in developmental hell since like freaking like the late 90s. So this movie, they keep talking about making Mortal Kombat 3 forever, and then obviously they're going to go the reboot route because if you look it up, it's called Mortal Kombat Legacy. I think they're just on YouTube now. There was a Blu-ray that we actually did sell at Best Buy for a while, but it's kind of more like how this movie is, like a more realistic, non-cheesy approach to the Mortal Kombat stuff. So they gave like a real world that because originally it had Michael J. White, so the guy that was the first Spawn. If you saw the first Spawn movie, he was Jax.
Gotcha.
He was Jax for that. So like in that version, Scorpion is more of like an anti-hero, closer to the games, but Baraka, they have like a real world explanation for him. Like he's some surgeon who put blades into himself and eats people. He's like a cannibal. So like stuff like that, which I guess they didn't end up doing for this movie, but like that's the route they were trying to take to not make it like cheesy. But this looks pretty cool. The only gripe that I have, and I see the gripe that people do have like in like Twitter on it, is that Johnny Cage isn't in this game. It's the Cole Young character, who's played by Cole Young is Louis Tan. So I guess from the trailer, he's like got the symbol of like Mortal Kombat on his chest, which is probably a birthmark, but not a birthmark according to the trailer. So he's like the Johnny Cage character. His role, he's an ex-MMA fighter. The movies that he's been in, he was Shatterstar in Deadpool 2. And then I haven't watched it, but I guess to see his martial arts, he's in the Wu Assassins on Netflix. So I guess that's where he's really popular as far as martial arts go. Just the cast that like I'm excited for because of the fact that you can tell from the trailer the fighting is going to be a main part of this movie. Which did you end up seeing I know you said you're not a big fan, but did you see the first two Mortal Kombats? No. Okay. I would say the first one's worth watching, but the second one is not. But the fighting wasn't really that big of a deal. Like it was, but it wasn't. Like it wasn't obviously like the superpowered fighting. Like it was just like basic like punching and kicking. So this one is obviously the opposite of that, but as far as like the martial arts from it, the dude playing Sub-Zero, his name is, I hope I pronounced his last name right, is Joe Tasilim. He was in the movie Raid Redemption. He played the character Jaka, which is the older brother of the main character who ends up like fighting him, and they have like this kick-ass three-way fight with one of the dude that was in Star Wars Force Awakens as Tasu Leech. They have like a really good fight. So he's a really good martial artist. When I saw that he was playing Sub-Zero, I was freaking stoked. Hiroyuki Sanada is Scorpion. It said that he was in Westworld. I still haven't seen that. But
I haven't either.
Like I guess everyone said that he's a good actor, so they're excited to see him play that. Jessica I think it's McName or McName, however you say her last name. She's playing Sonya Blade. It said the major thing she's been in was the Meg movie, which I did not see. And then the guy playing Raiden, he was in the MCU. He played Hogan in Thor. His name's Tanabo Asano. He's going to be Raiden. The guy playing Jax is Mekad Brooks. He plays Jimmy Olsen in Supergirl. So I don't watch Supergirl, but he's in that. And then, interesting enough, the guy playing Shang Tsung is actually Lau from Dark Knight. If you remember the Asian dude that guards their money, he's Shang Tsung.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and then another interesting note is the guy playing Liu Kang is the Black Power Ranger in the Power Rangers reboot, which is kind of funny.
Interesting.
And then Kung Lao, it said he's glorified, like he's morely known for being a stuntman, but he's also an actor, but there's nothing major that I've seen in, and nothing like big enough to like. He's been in a couple martial arts films. And then who's the other person? Melina is Sissy Stringer, and the other main, she's also been like most of the people that I don't know of, they've been in like martial art movies. So
I mean, that's good. It's good that they're able to find, I guess, roles for like professionals that are going to be, actually performing stuff like that in a movie like this.
Yeah, and it's promising because I guess like even though I know you haven't really explored the lore of Mortal Kombat, the movie looks like it is going to actually explore it because they're not in the trailer, but they are listed in the credits. Cabal, which he wasn't introduced until Mortal Kombat 3, he's supposed to be in the game. I mean, he's supposed to be in the movie, and I think there's also supposed to be like a person playing Stryker, which who also like they're in Mortal Kombat 3, but they're gonna, because of the like reboots and stuff in Mortal Kombat, like they've always been in the tournament now, but they just were background characters.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I just thought that was cool because it came out and I've watched the trailer like 5 times and I'm super excited for it. So
yeah, I'd be excited to see this once it actually comes out.
Yeah,
I don't have a whole lot of familiarity with the actors and actresses, but I think overall, just seeing the trailer alone, I think the effects and the way they're handling the casting of everybody, it seemed, in like the script itself, it looks like it'll be more true to what the games play as.
And which is cool because I mean, still I'm trying to think like most video game movies unfortunately kind of suck. Hopefully this doesn't follow that because it looks pretty decent. So we'll see. Because actually I take that back. Did you see the new Tomb Raider?
Yes. I
thought that was good. I was say that.
I also think that was. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but I liked it because it played it like it was a video game.
Yeah, and I would say that was one of the more recent ones. Cause I'm trying to think like. I remember the Doom movie was bad. I guess the joke is that Super Mario Brothers has made a curse for video game movies, but
no, I mean I think Tomb Raider was fine. I think people shouldn't be shy away from it. I think it depends on like the screenplay and like how they're actually gonna like go about like the story.
Yeah, because I guess it's just depending on video games. Like there's so much. Depending on how many games have been out to, depends on how much like lore, and I guess if just there's certain aspects of the lore that aren't represented on screen, people get pissed. Yeah. And at the same time, I could feel like if you call the movie like example like Doom, and then don't really follow anything that has to do with Doom, then it's like, okay, yeah, this movie is not Doom at all. Like, why call it?
And then
that?
I haven't seen this, but the other one I know that came out kind of recently was Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, that movie.
And
it
that,
sucks
from everything I read about
Michael Fassbender is a good actor.
I know, but it seemed like they wanted to take their own liberties with the way Assassin's Creed is. So they had like no familiar name, so there's nobody to really compare it to. So there was no real draw other than like, oh, it's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And he only does like some things that you would see in a game. So hopefully, yeah. I mean, this looks like it should be a step up from all that, though.
Yeah, it looks like they're finally learning. So, because now, like I know we talked about it a little bit, but Last of Us, since that show's gonna come out too, and it is Neil Druckmann is executive producer on it.
Yeah, that should play out really well. I think they're taking that show really seriously. Because I think anything that HBO's like putting their name behind, they're at least trying to make it as kind of accurate to what the source material is.
Yeah.
For any of these newer kind of projects.
Because as far as like the other big video game movie, I guess, would be the Nathan Drake movie when that drops too.
Yeah.
So, and from the images, those look pretty good. I mean, I know some people don't think Tom Holland screams Nathan Drake, but he's playing a young version, so.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I'll reserve judgment on that until you actually see something like trailer wise.
Yeah. Well, so jumping back, so some other stuff to kind of, I mean, it's still somber, but it's like a reflection, I guess. Yeah. Yesterday, Daft Punk announced that they are done. They retired. They had a video called Epilogue, and they just basically told everybody like they're done. So, with that said, I won't because I like Daft Punk, like they're kick-ass, and I know Paul does. Tommy, like I don't know if you're as big as a fan as like Paul. But
Hey.
I know.
Hey, Tommy went to the Daft Punk pop-up shop, so that gives him some credit.
There you go. So
I did go to the Paul just go, hey, you want to go to the pop-up shop? I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing nothing. So I'm not a big music fan like how you guys are. I know about them, not too familiar with all their work, but I'm sure I listen to some of their music here and there. You know what I mean? So, sucks that they're just breaking up, right? They're just tired of working together. Or
no,
what was the
it's
reason?
just they're just done. I mean, as far as like musically, I think they've pretty much done everything they could do as a duo. So I think they're just done. So I know they became more mainstream after the Tron Legacy. So, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we never actually agreed. So what did you want to do? Top 3 or top 5?
I guess in this case we'll do a top 3.
Okay. So
does that change it for you, or
no? I just take 2 off.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you want to just go 3 to 1 then?
3 to 1. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, so mine is actually gonna be number 3 would be Robot Rock for me. That was like one of my favorite ones from them. Yeah, I just liked it. To a point, they're one of the artists that like I didn't really like. I knew their songs, but I didn't know who they were. But I was still like not musically like defined. A lot of the stuff when I was a little kid, it was just like, oh, that song's cool and I had no idea who how played it. And Daft Punk was one of those people. So, but just for some reason, Radio Rock or Robot Rock is like it is one of my ones that sticks out to me, and I like really like that song. So.
Cool. For me, I put Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. Only reason why it's not one of my favorites, but the only reason why I put it on there is just because of how popular it got because of Kanye.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was one of the samples in Kanye's Stronger song.
Exactly. So I felt like that's one of their important songs in their career to like get them back into the public eye. I still love the sample. I still love the song itself. But yeah, I put that as number 3 because of its importance, I guess, to another generation of listeners.
Tommy, do you have Number 3.
I don't. Sorry. I'll sit this one out. I'll look up the songs you guys are
Okay.
calling out.
You should. They're really good. They've been around since the 90s, dude. So
I'll try to add them to my playlist. My bad, guys.
So it's all good.
I'll make that workout playlist. Trust me.
So my number 2 from them was just because I was younger. So let's see. Age myself. I was in 4th grade. Around the World is my number 2. So yeah. Ironically, I was one of the I really liked the game, even though I know it's not the funnest thing. As if you guys remember DJ Hero, they were big on that, and I have all the remixes of it from their stuff, and they were my favorite songs to play on DJ Hero. So, R.I.P. to that franchise because it only made it to 2, but but the first one was really really good, and it had a lot of Daft Punk in it. So. Paul, awesome. What's your number 2?
So mine is going to be a mashup. There's a mashup with Something About Us. I love that song. But there was a mashup with that song and Ellie Goulding's Under the Sheets.
Okay.
That mashup is so good. The way that they kind of constructed it with the original beat and her singing over it and then going back to the original song, I think is really, really well done. It's not an official remix or anything like that, but it's kind of a song that I kind of wish was real, but if you guys want to hear it, I still have it. I'll send you the MP3 for it, but it's a really good song.
Okay, yeah. So my number 1 is kind of a cop-out answer. It's just the Tron Legacy album. So that was I was gonna say Derez, but then I let's see, what's the other one on here? It's after Derez, Fall is really good. Clue, and then I actually they only have I think one official track on it, but I actually Reconfigured too. But it's a lot of people that just remix their stuff. But
yeah,
I do play the Reconfigured one a little more than the original one. But that whole just Tron Legacy in itself is they made Tron Legacy for me as much as if their music wasn't in it, I don't know if I would have liked that movie as much.
I think that'd definitely be half of the movie for me.
Yeah,
they belonged in that movie, so I'm glad that they were put in there.
Yeah, and that's what it just made sense. And then well, I'll let you do your thing, and then we can do the thing you asked later.
My number 1 is Face to Face.
That's a good song.
It's my favorite song. I just love the beat, how poppy it is, and I think it kind of exemplifies the sound that I used to love in terms of Daft Punk. They kind of changed towards the end, but to me, that sound is kind of where I see Daft Punk as.
Yeah, because if we actually did do a top 5, I would have done Get Lucky on there. Would have been on there, and then that's from that album Motherboard. I actually liked the Motherboard song off Random Access Memories. So yeah.
But you can totally tell there's 2 different sounds that they were kind of going to now. So.
All right, Paul. You want to ask the question so I can give you the answer that I've been stewing the whole time?
Okay, so my question was, because your love of Daft Punk, with them being retired, they were supposed to do the Tron 2 soundtrack. What artist would you want to see them get replaced with?
The correct answer is none. But I would hope that money would make it. But at the same time, you've never seen them without their mask, so I don't really think that's their personality. I really think they respect the artist part of it. So I think it'd be really hard to make them come back for money. Even Disney could throw all this money to them. I think if they're retired, they're retired unless there's something that makes them artistically want to pursue it. But the only other person, and it's just a newer person I can think of, just because of the electronic stuff in his scores, would be Junkie XL. I think would be the only other thing that I could save, replace him, and kind of not that I'm saying that he would rip them off, but I think it would be, he could make something that plays tribute to them and stuff that it wouldn't be too far off, that you could be all right, this is good. It's not Daft Punk, but he's the only person I could think of right now that would be if they said it was him, I wouldn't be so mad.
Uh-huh.
Do you have an answer?
Tommy?
I would say to keep in that same lane with that whole like electronic music type thing. So, but I don't know who embodies that right now, like how Daft Punk did. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't know who to call out. Like my whole thing was, if you want to go old school, something like Rage or something like that. But I wouldn't know who embodies that whole like electronic music at the current time. I guess I'm aging myself. I don't know how.
That's all good.
Who could like fill their shoes? You know what I mean? If you couldn't even. So, who do you think, Paul?
My answer was Churches. I love Churches.
Churches.
Oh, that'd be a good pick too.
There is this one song in particular that I really, really like. I'll send it to you guys later.
Okay.
But to me, it sounds like if they made a soundtrack to Tron, I think it would have totally fit in with them. So that's my answer. Churches.
Cool. Well, hopefully, if Tron 3 does actually happen, which could be one of those movies that was going to happen and then the pandemic killed it. But if Tron 3 does happen, I do hope that they are somehow able to make the score.
Does it have a release date, or has it started production or anything, or filming or anything?
The only thing that had happened before pandemic is they had announced that my favorite fucking actor's in it. So just that Jared Leto's in it. And that's about it. Like Olivia Wilde's not attached anymore. And
new director, are they going in a different direction, I'm thinking? Are they going in a different direction, or are they having anybody from the part 2 being the next one, or no?
All I know is that it was gonna be there were two things that killed it. Tomorrowland, that movie, the live action Tomorrowland movie coming out, like I guess scared them into trying to do it again. And then the fact that they had already got the male demographic by purchasing Star Wars and Marvel, that they kind of just put Tron on the back burner because they're like, we really don't need to make this movie anymore because we have the male demographic with those two franchises we purchased. So
I would say it's not a good idea to just try to make a movie just based on like a look. You would have to make any movie, you need to tell a good story. So if you don't have a story to tell, then don't waste anybody's time.
Well,
you know what I mean?
the leaked story from the third one was supposed to be that based off of like the second one, how Korra was like a hybrid and she like was in the real world. The third one was supposed to be like Clue gets out and like brings like the all that like tanks and stuff into the real world, and it's supposed to be like kind of more actiony that way. But that's just pretty much all that was ever leaked. Was like it was just supposed to be like they come into the real world and affect like the real world and try to take over, and that's like all that ever got released out of it. So
it's a different take on it. So that might have been cool. Hopefully they still make it if it's.
We'll see. I mean, it definitely has a cult following. After like looking it up, I realized I guess Tron Legacy didn't do as well as Disney wanted. So that's why kind of too at the same time the sequel talk for them was kind of like, well, we know there's a cult that kind of wants it because Tron is considered a cult classic movie. So it's one of those things because you can watch Tron 2 and like not see the first Tron and you can still pretty much get what's going on. But
yeah,
I know the first Tron for some people is like a chore to watch. So like I like the first one, but I can see why people don't like it. Like my little brother doesn't like the first movie. Like I tried watching it with him and he was like, this is boring, this is weird. So
were you guys there when we watched Wrath of Khan on Star Trek, Wrath of Khan, Star Trek 2?
The original one at your house?
Yeah.
Where I fell asleep?
There or no?
Yeah.
I think we all fell asleep.
Yeah. Who was there? Someone made a comment. I know
Jose brought it because he had it. I remember we were talking about, we had just seen, I think, the second Star Trek movie.
Yeah, because we had saw the second one, yeah. And I remember, like, I think Jose said we need to watch the original one.
Yeah,
and I remember
so we all got together.
We did it at your house, and yeah.
I remember I fell asleep after, like, 10 minutes of it, and then woke up at the end.
Yeah, I just remember, like, we did not, but it's, like, no offense to Star Trek, it's just that wasn't, like, my cup of tea, so I wasn't fixated on it, and it didn't keep my attention.
Well, they were saying. I remember Jose was saying, and that the critics were saying too, or like the people that because J.J. Abrams had just made the first two Star Trek movies, and they're like, well, the best Star Trek movie ever is Wrath of Khan, and nobody could ever come close to it. And I liked the first two Star Trek movies, the J.J. Abrams ones. Like I thought they were cool, especially that first one. Second one too, I liked it not as much as the first one, but the first one was really good. And they were like, no, Star Trek Wrath of Khan is the best one. It's a classic, and Captain Kirk and the OG Spock, all that stuff, you know. So like, all right, we'll watch it. And it didn't age well.
Yeah.
The CG was super not close to what it was. And then just the new one was more action.
So when we watched it, 4K wasn't even a thing yet, right? Because you're yeah, because it was you already had your huge ass sharp, right?
Yeah, we just watched it on regular 1080p high definition. Was it high def? Yeah, it was high def. It wasn't 4K. But yeah, I would rebuy those to 4K. I think they're out, but I haven't rebought them. But I enjoyed them. I thought they were good. That was the first appearance of Thor. Chris Hemsworth was Captain Kirk's dad in that movie. In the first one, not
really? Shit, I don't even remember. Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, spoiler, it's out, but I know Benedict Cumberbatch was Khan in the J.J. Abrams version. But, and that was one of those funny things too. Like that got leaked, and they were like, "No, he's not Khan." Like I remember them saying, "No, that's not the case."
Yeah, but, I didn't. You know me, I avoid all those stuff. So I didn't know anything about who he was or anything until he said it.
I don't like. I just remember like because if you know the whole war between Star Trek and Star Wars and clearly Star Wars, I just remember when because I still worked at Disneyland when the first one came out, and me and my buddies like I went dressed in a Boba Fett helmet to go see Star Trek, so that was pretty fun. Yeah.
Here on Paul's story today, where he had Boba Fett and Mandalorian. There's
Daft Punk. It's Daft Punk. Yeah, that was cool. That
was legit. So. What was funny? What did it say on it though? Like the brave Daft Punk making it. RP, that was funny. I just remember laughing at it.
Yeah.
But I did go. I remember that pop-up shop was ridiculous. The prices there were freaking insane. For a ripped, I remember seeing a ripped up shirt. I think the cheapest thing in there was like $50, and it was a shirt with holes in it. And I was just like, I'm just gonna stay and take pictures.
Yeah, and then there was that Daft Punk jacket that I legit wanted, and it was like $500, and I was like, fuck.
It was ridiculous. The prices were insane.
Yep.
It's Daft Punk
pop-up shop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that pop-up shop anyway?
LA somewhere, Hollywood.
It was in west side of LA. I forget exactly where, but it was a really, really rainy day.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yep. Good times. Good times though.
Well, I mean, hopefully they don't. I mean, I get it. I just hope that they like come out of retirement eventually within my lifetime.
Did they announce it? They just said they're breaking up in a video, or
it was just that epilogue video. They just said that they were calling it quits, that they were just retiring.
28 years. Yeah, that'll do that to you.
And it's one of those things too. Like I said, like they're very much into the art, like the artist part of it. Like as far as I know, I tried Googling it, and you can't see what they look like without the helmet. So like they did really good at like not letting people see them. Underneath
no leaks.
Yeah, and there's no like official like leaks or anything. Like I know people know what they look like under it, but it's like people have respected that and like not even like shown what they look like under the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So that's it. I mean, we'll switch gears again to the final thing then on topics. The next thing would be WandaVision. Episode 7, which just dropped on Friday. So, it goes without saying, spoilers. If you have not seen episode 7, goodbye.
Go watch it.
Yes. So, right off the bat, since Will's all caught up, what did you think of episode 7? Like, more questions? I will say one thing. I'm pissed that it wasn't an hour because supposedly the last 3
Yeah,
were supposed to be an hour.
I was curious about that too.
But other than that, I mean, it was good. As far as like my predictions, it's still pretty on point with what's going on. Did you get the I guess it's the big swerve of the episode, but to me I wasn't that swerved, but
I mean, it seemed like she had a role. I mean, it's because she always showed up. I think she showed up in every episode.
Yeah.
To this point. So Agnes, or I guess Agatha, her reveal. I think it was cool. I think it, like, just the suspense of kind of like as called Wanda kind of wandering down to like the cellar to see like all the weird stuff down there. Only we find out that Agnes is the one that's been essentially producing this like show of sorts.
Yeah.
And in a way kind of controlling anything that went wrong, because I guess Wanda's still in control of the overall world, but anything that's going wrong, it has nothing to do with what she's doing. At least that's my interpretation of it.
No, I think that's what they're trying to steer the audience in. I personally still feel that there is a bigger evil than that. Paul, have you seen how that song is blown up? How like everybody loves that song. It's a really good song though.
It's a good play on the Munsters for sure.
Yeah. Tommy, did you?
What song? No, you have to send it to me.
No, the song at the end. You saw the episode, just like where it's been Agatha all along. Like that song's like blowing up. Like everybody like loves that song. Like there's a bunch of that meme with the cat bobbing its head, like someone had where it's playing that and the cat's just like dancing to it. So
I haven't seen it.
And it's really catchy too. So
yeah. I mean, I think we were all like speculating it was either her or I think they kind of threw us a curveball after the previous episode where Vision took her out of the trance and she was saying that Vision was dead. Are you gonna come? How you saving us? You're dead or whatever. And then she didn't really know who she was or where she was at or whatever. So it kind of threw me off. But then when she came out and she actually said who she was, it was like, ooh, different.
For me, I think it was episode 5 in the very beginning when they were kind of tripping out, where she says, "Do you want me to do it again?"
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That already to me was the part where I'm like, I think she's not in that trance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that whole scene with Vision was just to kind of throw you off, like to get you off the scent. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, I still think the dude from Sword is gonna come into play for sure. But I thought it was cool. I'm just interested to see where they're gonna take it now, because it looks like at the end of the episode, like she's mind controlled. Did you see the end credits? Because they brought it back this time.
Yeah, where Monica kind of finds the cellar, and then Evan Peters, Quicksilver, showed up.
Snooper's gonna snoop. Yeah. So we'll see with that. I do think it's interesting that they're establishing that's how Monica is getting her powers, because she pretty much has them now. So I just don't know what name she's going to take. So I didn't really know that Monica Rambeau was the first Captain Marvel, like in history. Like she actually originally was Captain Marvel. And then they obviously gave it to Kara Danvers later down the line. So I guess she's had 3 superhero names in the comics, which is Captain Marvel being one, Photon being the second one, which we saw they gave that name to her mom, and then the third one is Spectrum. So I don't know which one she's gonna take. I'm
sure it'll be Spectrum.
I could see that, but at the same time, being a tribute to her mom, she might end up doing the Photon character too. Depending.
Yeah.
So I guess it could be any of those two. It obviously won't be Captain Marvel unless the mantle gets passed to her or something. So
I'd be curious if. I mean, I don't know how this is tying into the comics, just because I'm not as familiar with the Scarlet Witch character in the comics.
Yeah.
And like kind of her role. Because they did, when they had Monica's character coming through the bubble, through the hex, and like it had like the voices coming in the back of the head as she was going from the one place to the other. and like you heard Captain Marvel's voice.
Yeah.
Kind of chime in. I'm curious if they're gonna figure out a way to tie in like actual Cara Danvers in the show. I don't know, maybe not this season, but if they continue on past the season, then away in that. I just don't know how well they're actually intertwined in the comics. If it would even make sense to do that.
I know because Monica Rambeau is going to be in Captain Marvel too, because the actress has already said she is in Captain Marvel too. Okay. So it might just be a time because as far as I know, the MCU shows as of now they said they're one-offs. They're not going to be seasons. They're just going to be mini series. So I mean,
there wouldn't be like a season 2 WandaVision.
No, they could, I mean that could change. I mean it depends. Yeah. It all. But as far as like Kevin Feige was saying, like no, like he said that they were one-offs. So
I wonder if they're going to use it to bridge the gap in between movies. Then.
Well, because I'm sure that's
going to be the role.
Because this officially does happen right after Endgame. I guess they said that it's supposed to happen before Spider-Man: Far From Home, so it's supposed to be Endgame. Then, because of the fact that like 9 days after she took Vision, that's supposed to be the time frame for this, and then depending on how this ends up ending, like then Spider-Man: Far From Home would happen, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be right after. So, and then I don't know where Loki lies timeline wise, but that's the other one coming down the pike. So, as far as like, I guess the speculation part, because I guess everyone's still freaking out because Paul Bettany, who plays Vision, confirmed that Evan Peters wasn't the big like reveal character, because I guess there's a supposed to be, they actually use the Mandalorian as reference, saying there's supposed to be a Luke Skywalker type cameo this season that's supposed to blow people's minds, and so I guess the only clue Paul Bettany gave people is that it's been an actor he's wanted to work with for a very long time. And that's why a lot of people are speculating it's going to be Magneto, like the Fox version of Magneto, or Professor X, Patrick Stewart, based off of the fact that they're tenured actors. And
it would pull the X-Men side into it.
Yeah, considering they go that route, though. Because the only reason I don't think it would be them, even though I know they're introducing multiverses, is Disney has pretty much, they like killed the Fox universe, so...
Yeah,
that's the only reason I'm not so, unless Feige's just gonna lean into it and be like, it's already there, we have the rights, let's just merge it and kind of correct what they did wrong. I could see them doing that if they want to keep that, but also, I mean, money talks. But I know Patrick Stewart was supposed to be done after Logan. As far as I know, Ian McDermott was done. Like, I don't think he had any plans to come back as Magneto. So I guess you could do Fassbender, but no offense to Fassbender, but like I don't know if he would even be considered for Magneto, depending on what.
It would just be weird. I think it would just be weird timeline wise.
Yeah, so
like to have that make sense.
Because even if let's say you are going in that route, and then you do Michael Fassbender, that means James McAvoy automatically becomes Professor X if you're going to keep that. So it's just, I don't know. There's so many things now because the other stuff is just like opinion based. There's grain of salt stuff because it's those like, we got this covered in comic book news and like basically articles that or websites that are known to make up shit just to make shit up. But apparently Jessica Alba might return as Sue Storm in in Doctor Strange. Then there's also saying that Jennifer Lawrence is going to be cast as Sue Storm. So she's been courted to be Sue Storm. What else? There was another casting. It was just like really stupid articles. I'm like, really? That doesn't seem right. But yeah,
that would be weird.
It's just because the multiverse things been come out, like all these names get thrown out. So,
yeah.
So I guess since Tom Holland, I don't know if it was promoting Chaos Walking, but he got asked about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in Spider-Man 3, and he's like, they're not in this movie. And they're like, I guess the person that was doing they're like, okay, sure. And he's like, no, really, like they're not in this movie. Like people are gonna be disappointed. Like I've read the script and I know I'm used to leaking stuff, but like people like they wouldn't.
I mean, all these other people are showing up, but not them.
Yeah, he's all, they wouldn't keep this from me, you know. So if you're going in thinking they're gonna be in it, you're gonna be very disappointed. So
continue to believe, and then when you see the movie, it's like, you lied to me.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know.
You said to throw us off, and you did throw me off. I hate you.
We'll see. I mean, they do make scenes for trailers, so we'll see. But
I'm hoping for it not being those two. If you want the bigger make the bigger noise, I would say not either one of those two.
Do you think Paul Bettany's thing is just to throw people sent off? Like, do you think it would be someone in the MCU? Because I also feel like if it's not a character, let's say, like, hypothetically, it was going to be like Professor X or Magneto in MCU world, and they're cast as different people. Like,
that'd be weird.
Yeah, as an audience though, I don't know if we would necessarily get that. Like, I think that would like sell the audience short. Let's just say hypothetically it was supposed to be Professor X, because the theory that someone had like was pretty dope, where it's like it's been debunked, but it's basically like, I guess when Quicksilver in the episode was saying, hey, you can talk to me, I'm your brother, they were saying that was Professor X on the other side talking through him. So if that were to be the case, I guess that'd be cool, but at the same time it'd be like, well, like, comic people will know, hey, that's Professor X, but the general public would be like, who the fuck's that guy? Like, I think they would like cut themselves short if they did that.
Yeah.
I think it would have to be somebody with like magic powers. Like, I'm not ruling out Doctor Strange, like being somebody like that. I hope it's not. I hope it's somebody new.
It can't, because Paul Bettany already worked with him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if Paul Bettany's whole saying is just throw you off? Like, it could be like a red herring, being like, oh yeah, I really want to work with this person, because but we'll see. Like, I'm trying to think, because not just in the Marvel stuff, because I know as far as like, I'm trying to think if Doctor Strange and Vision actually shared screen time together. I don't think they did.
He died in Infinity War, where Doctor Strange was on Titan. Remember?
Yeah, because they didn't have actually any scenes together. So
don't get me wrong. Like, I hope it's not Doctor Strange. I mean, it'd be cool if it is, I guess, but because I'm just thinking somebody with powers, like magic powers. Like,
yeah.
Like a wizard or somebody like that. You know what I mean? So the only one that I know like that in the universe right now is Doctor Strange, unless you're gonna introduce a whole new character, or Mordor from Doctor Strange as well. You know what I mean? Like, he might be the old.
Yeah,
like,
he could be the, because I mean at the end, because if it's supposed to be a tie-in from Doctor Strange, he wants to get rid of magicians now, so, or he wants to get rid of wizards. So, I mean, he could be joining with Agatha if they want to get rid of like the Scarlet Witch. So
yeah,
because I guess it's been established that she's super fucking powerful now. So if they're straight up saying she could kill Thanos by herself, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they want to like establish, this chick is super powerful.
They were saying that she was, until he had them fire the missiles, and then somebody else brought it to everybody's attention that when Scarlet Witch appears, it's right after, in her mind, it's right after Thanos killed Vision, and she doesn't know that that's not the Thanos that killed Vision. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So she just witnessed
that's right.
Vision dying. She comes back and she sees the guy that killed him. So yeah, she wants to kill. She was tearing his armor off. She was gonna take him apart.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I don't know who's gonna. I don't think it could be Magneto. I wish. I mean, it'd be cool. Magneto, Professor X. Professor X is more telepathy, like telepathic. Yeah. So he's not really like a witch. So that'd be kind of different. Magneto, he's powerful, but he's not like a wizard or whatever. So I'm thinking Doctor Strange or somebody in that world, or somebody that haven't even introduced yet. Maybe they're gonna introduce a new character.
That could be possible, because I mean, as far as if you're gonna take his thing with the like actual like, oh well, it's someone that he's wanted to work with, that could open up anything. Because yeah,
when you say Al Pacino or somebody, or De Niro or something, I was like, I don't think so. Like, you're just reaching now,
No, the only reason it would be this is just based off of like what I know of like Mephisto from Ghost Rider part. The only reason that would make sense is if they're casting, like, let's say it is like Robert De Niro. Like, if you casted him as like, it'd have to be a big role in something, and the only thing I could see him fitting in is like the human disguise of Mephisto. or Mephisto itself. Like if it's gonna be something like that. As far as the me personally, I don't really know who that would be. I guess it's speculation. Yeah. The only thing I'm still like pretty firm believer in is that the big bad is still Mephisto because of the fact that her kids are involved, and her kids in the comics, Mephisto like takes the House of M storyline, which is this following from the comics, is where she makes her own world and stuff. She makes her own family. She makes kids. They get taken away, and when they get taken away, she becomes like psycho and shit. And then later down in the line in the comics, Mephisto like takes their souls and puts them in other people. So the fact that like they introduced her kids, I don't necessarily say they might have disappeared already, but at the end of the episode, how like she couldn't find them. They could be maybe in that book or something, but I still think Mephisto is, because the reason I think it's Mephisto is I think he's working with Agatha, and I now more so that they revealed her as Agatha, I think that Mephisto is her husband. I think Ralph is Mephisto when you finally get to see Ralph.
I was gonna say, I mean, she always mentions Ralph.
Yeah, and well, because like the one reason that made me think that too is like it was I think episode 2 when the power goes out and she says it's okay, Ralph looks better in the dark. That would be an allusion to, since Mephisto is the devil, you know, like just little stuff like that. But yeah,
yeah, it'll be interesting. I just like the twist. I just don't want it to, especially since I guess it is just gonna be a one-off. I mean, they gotta end it pretty strong and figure out a way to make this worth like talking about.
Well, I feel that they're doing that. Like I feel every episode, for me anyway, is like crescendoed. Like the next episode is bigger. The only one that like last week's episode 6, I felt was a little weaker than 5. Like I liked 5 more, but yeah, I think that was more just the way they ended it. It kind of pissed me off. But it certainly does seem like the stakes rise every week. So
yeah, it like at the end of the Halloween episode, I was like, all right, well now what?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I think also too, I didn't like the fact that 6 went back to being 30 minutes when episode 5 was like 40.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping that the next two, because supposedly that source was Kevin Feige. That other other websites reported that the person who said that the last 3 episodes of WandaVision were supposed to be 3 hours was from Kevin Feige. So maybe.
I mean, I would hope the next 2 are.
I would hope so too, just for the sake of like stuff done.
Yeah, because it seems like otherwise they'll just have to rush everything.
And that's the last thing I want. Yeah, that's the last thing I want is rushed. Because I think a Falcon and Winter Soldier episode is supposed to be 45 minutes to an hour. So, and that looks more traditional Marvel than WandaVision's been. So
interesting. Yeah, I'm reading an article kind of mentioning the possibility of Mephisto and all that. Should be cool.
Yeah. I mean, he's an interesting way to bring in other characters that they have like the rights to again. So like you could bring Ghost Rider in again after that. Essentially, you could bring like his son in, Blackheart. You could bring in like Blade because he does stuff with Blade. If you want to, I mean, I think it's too soon for that anyway. But you can even do like with Spider-Man, since in the comics the whole main thing with Mephisto is Spider-Man made the deal with him to make everyone forget that he like revealed himself as Spider-Man and to bring back like Mary Jane from death or something like that. I remember, even though Mary Jane hasn't really been in, well, it's Zendaya, but like nothing really happened with that yet. But I mean, yeah. You could do something like that, so we'll see. But
yeah.
And that'll do it, guys. If you're still stuck around, thanks a lot. I do appreciate it. Hopefully the next recording is a one and done, and I don't have to be doing these little cut segments. With that said, though, I have been streaming on Twitch lately. Right now, I'm just kind of streaming me playing the Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, and then the Work League with my buddies in NBA 2K21. Next week, I do plan to be doing a Final Fantasy playthrough, starting from Final Fantasy 6 on Super Nintendo, and then going to Final Fantasy 7, the original version, since I have it on Xbox, play it on Xbox. Final Fantasy 8 Remastered, and then we'll go from there. I'll do 10, blah, 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 and then I'll end up doing the Final Fantasy Remake. So, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. It's Buckethead, or it's Twitch TV /Buckethead Eddie88. And then if you guys want to send anything out to me via email or just in general, it's geekconclave@gmail.com. And that'll do it, guys. So thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you guys next time.